What's up, everyone? I am SheWulf, your host of tonight's Console Corner. This is the 80th episode of... Well, I guess I said Console Corner beforehand, so I guess that didn't really work. But, alright guys, so I hope you guys are ready to listen to the show. We are going to dive into some amazing news and some great things that have been passed around the social media and all that kind of fun stuff. We enjoy hooking you guys up with some of the best gaming details with Foxy Deals, and now a new addition to the show, which is What's Out Now with Mike. But before we get into all of that great stuff, first let me introduce two of our special guests that will be joining us tonight, starting off with Phantom.
Hey, what's happening, everyone?
Hey, the new logo changed.
It did.
It did. That's interesting. All right, that's actually pretty cool. All right, and next up we have, you guys might actually recognize him. He used to do the Shop podcast and had a lot of great opinions, so we wanted to get him onto the show, and that is Jarhead.
Hey guys, great to be here. Appreciate the invite.
Definitely. And now, of course, our regular other host of the Console Corner. First up we have is Lady Fox Fire.
Hey, what's up, everybody? I'm super hyped. Can't wait. We missed GKB, but I think we have a great panel, and I can't wait to talk about these topics.
Definitely agree. Definitely agree. Next up we have is Mr. Nukem.
Hey people, what's going on? Nukem back in the house, and it is an honor and a pleasure to have Phantom back on the panel with us, as well as Jarhead. So I'm excited to see what those two gentlemen will have to chirp in with throughout the show. Yeah, it's going to be another good one, so stick around. We appreciate the love.
And last but not least, we have is Mr. Magic Mike.
Hey, what's up, everybody? I hope you're excited to find out what's out now later on, because, whoo, I got a doozy of a list for you all this week.
Definitely, definitely. If you're listening to us live or listening to us later, make sure that you drop us your questions or your comments below, because we love to read them, and we will always try to answer them each week. So, with that, we're going to jump into one of Console Corner's main fun things that we love to do here, and that is what games have we played. So, going down the line, we're going to actually start with Jarhead. What have you been playing this week?
Give me this week the little one just fell. Sorry. Live show. I've been going back and forth through my backlog. I finally finished Alan Wake. Freaky game, man. Freaked me out. It's just weird, but good. And I think and Gears. Lots of Gears online. It's been me and my brother-in-law. That's our beer at late at night, so that's what we've been doing.
Nice.
Oh, nice.
Very nice. Next up, Fox, what have you been playing?
Wow. Well, a little bit of a lot, and I'll try to go through it really quickly. Trying to finish up Batman Telltale game, so I'm still finishing up episode 2, but I want to finish that so I can play the newer one. Played some Battlefield 1 and some Overwatch on Saturday with Tim and my friend and Carlos and whatnot, and people even passed by and said hi in the party chat, so that was pretty cool.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, really cool. I played Destiny with you. That was really fun. We played a little bit of that yesterday.
We did.
I've been playing Arrow and Trials Fusion here and there throughout the week. Those are like my fun games to just play really quickly in between other things.
Mm-hmm.
And today I put Recore on, and that was awesome. And I can't wait to finish the show so I could go play again.
Oh, nice, nice.
So I updated that, and yeah, it looks really cool. It uploads really fast, or, you know, I can't wait.
That is awesome. What about you, Mike? What have you been playing?
Well, I've also been playing a little bit of Recore. I played it earlier in the week, pre-patch or definitive edition update, whatever you want to call it. And then I played it a little bit last night after the definitive edition came out to really like see a good comparison. Yeah, no, I was really I was pleasantly surprised at how much the HDR really makes everything pop on the screen and just looks so much more dynamic than what it was before.
Yeah.
Other than Recore, though, I've been playing some more Forza Horizon 3 and Injustice 2. Those two games, they've been carrying me all summer long.
Oh, nice. Nice. What about you, Newf? What have you been playing?
I've been playing some Titanfall 2, doing some Frontier Defense, streamed a little bit with some gamers the other day. That was a ton of fun. And I also purchased Uncharted The Lost Legacy, had a great time with that. I played and completed the campaign, and it was a good ride. And what else have I been playing? Just various other titles on and off. And I'm hoping to definitely play some more Recore. I've got to go download that patch, actually. And here it looks pretty cool. So that's about it in a nutshell, I guess.
Nice. And what about you, Phantom? What have you been playing?
I've been kind of all over the place, actually. Messing with that new UI and trying to figure out what pins I want on my dashboard. So I got into that Record just because I want to see the definitive edition, the updates, and see how it looked, how it played. So I've been playing that, and I've been getting back into Shadow of War just because my nemesis was ridiculously overpowered. And
I know all
Shadow
about
of
that.
Mordor. So with Shadow of War coming out, I need to fix that with the quickness. Otherwise, I'm going to be screwed when that launches. But
Oh, wow.
that's about it. All over the place, having fun. Battlefield 1.
Well, that's always what matters, having fun when you're gaming.
Hell
So I have actually been playing a few different games this week. One was Offensive Combat. Now, this is a weird PC game that, like, you literally make these characters that look completely ridiculous, and then you, like, pwn your player, like, your other, like, components. And it is the weirdest game ever. Like, there's actually a Donald Trump face that you can get, and you can run around as like Donald Trump.
The heck?
Yeah, and there's like the peanut butter jelly like freaking dance that you do as when you're like, it's so weird. It is the weirdest game ever. It's on PC, but yeah, so I had the joys of playing that.
Is that weird game that you uploaded to the channel? Yeah, I saw some of that. Okay.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah, it was weird. It was very weird. And then of course I was playing PubG, which we'll be talking about that in just a little bit. And then of course, like, I was playing Destiny with Fox, which was really fun because, hey, I'm sure a lot of people are getting geared up for, you know, Halo. There we go. Destiny
Yeah, totally.
2 coming out.
Switching to Halo.
Yes, I know. I meant Destiny 2 coming out. So, you know, I was playing that, and then I played Observer, and I've played oh god, what is it? Sundered, I think it's called, or I think it's called Sundered. I might be saying that wrong. And then Dead Cell, a couple more indie PC games, which we were graciously given codes for. They were actually really cool games. I'll be getting reviews up. Yeah, I'll be getting reviews up on the channel this week. So if you guys want to check those out.
Awesome.
Other than
I asked the developer about that because I wanted to try that.
Which one?
I gotta
Dead
figure
Cell?
out whose dong
Yep.
slider I gotta extend to get some of those codes too.
Wow. Wow.
So yeah, all right. Yeah, I'm just gonna move on. But other than that, so yeah, that's about the gist I've been playing, which, you know, everybody loves to play games, so they're always playing something. But we're actually gonna jump into our first topic of tonight. Now, we have heard a lot about PUBG. It is this amazing game that's going to be coming to the Xbox soon, but it actually has hit a milestone on PC, which for a game like this to become as popular and as fast as it did was pretty amazing. And I guess what I'm really getting to is just one day after becoming the third game to reach 800,000 current players on this on Steam, it ended up actually passing Dota 2. Now this is like for anyone who knows what Dota 2 is, it is another game that's on PC that is huge in the gaming world for PC players. And this game was at 842,000 concurrent players. But Players Unknown Battleground actually passed it with 877,000 concurrent players. Like, that is outstanding for, I guess, not like a low budget game, but an indie style PC game that, you know,
That's
just kind of
still on beta.
Yes,
on top of that.
yes. The fact that it's still on beta and it literally just came out of nowhere is, I guess, what I'm getting at. Is this game came out of nowhere and it's hit that many. Like, what do you guys think of this game? Did you guys try this game? Do you think this is insane that it was able to reach this many?
I think it's surprising, yes, but it reminds me of when Minecraft first came out. That's how Minecraft took over the world. Exactly the same way. It just came out, word of mouth got out. And the best part, just like the developer said, the fact that it's such a simple concept, I think that's what makes the game great. I haven't tried it. I just don't care to play on PC. I'm just eagerly waiting for it to come out on Xbox, and I'll play it then. But I'm always you know, watching when you guys play, or just stalking, you know, other people.
Yeah.
But the game looks amazing. I'm glad it's third person. I'm a huge favorite fan of third person shooters. So.
Well,
That's
it's also
plus.
first person. They actually brought a first person beta to it as well. So now people can play both. They can either be third person or they can play first person.
But will they let people play against each other, though? Or are they going to be separate?
No. Well, no. They're separate servers. Like, there's first person server and then there is the third person server. So you don't cross like that at all.
Oh, I thought it was going to be kind of like how Battlefront did it, where you could switch between first and third person on the fly.
Yeah. It would be cool if they do that eventually, but...
Well, I was just saying, right now, they have them separate, because they just added that first-person view.
Yeah.
But who knows, later on, when the game is completely done, they might actually be able to do that on the fly within the same game that you're in. So,
I have to say something. I hope it actually gets completed and it doesn't stay in that model, beta. You know what I mean? I think it has to eventually finish.
So you're saying you don't want it to be Sea of Thieves?
Oh, damn.
No, how about Ark? Ark was like in that preview program for about 3 years.
Yeah. I mean, the preview program, I love it, but I don't use it. So, because I don't want to pay for something that is not complete. Not to mention, I like my achievements. I love that sound. So, you know what I mean? So that's my only thing.
But it is nice to try, especially when I'm not really sure about a certain title, and they have a trial. I want to check it out. But I know what you mean. I don't want to play too much of it. I don't want to spoil myself. When PUBG does come out on Xbox, I'm going to play it a little bit. Hopefully, it gets better and better as the time goes on, and then I'll buy an actual copy of it. Who knows? Maybe they'll release it physically. That would be nice.
Right.
But I just hope that I enjoy the game.
Yeah, I'll get it on the preview because I want to support it because of the the fact that it's going to come on Xbox first. I mean, not fanboy shit, but I want to support it because it is a big deal that a game like that is coming to consoles. You know what I mean? Because
you also have
huge numbers.
You also have to look at it at this point as well. With going to the game preview, now when it comes to PUBG, this game is so standard that it's literally you drop, you search, you fight, you survive. That's it. So for it to stay in the beta, it's really not a huge deal because with it being in the beta now, it's doing what it's supposed to do. The graphics obviously is something they may need to work on or whatever if they really want to focus on that. But for the point of what the game is, I would say it's a complete game, to be honest.
Right, that's what I'm saying. I hope they don't keep that stamp on it, like, oh, it's still beta. Like, no, screw that. Finish it, get it out, because the fact that they can support 800,000 plus concurrent players, the most important thing, the servers, they seem to be okay, which is great for an early on. So,
what are your thoughts, GKB?
Yo, what's up, everybody?
Oh my god!
I literally just walked in from work and I was just like being quiet.
I just ripped my shirt off.
Oh my god!
My pants are so tight right now.
Oh no! Oh no!
Did a Hulk Hogan
back door.
I'm officially walking away now. Goodbye, everybody.
Yeah, we're gonna go do gaming then or something. We'll be back.
Just did the whole Hogan for you.
So PUBG. I heard what you were saying, SheWulf and Jarhead and all that kind of stuff, but I think you got to keep it bear in mind too that this is coming to early access, and I got to be frank, like it's a lot better than it was when we first started playing, SheWulf and I. But it still needs a lot of work, people. And when it goes to the preview program and all that kind of stuff, it's still going to need work. And that's the whole point of it, is like all of us playing, having a great time, finding these bugs and making it a better experience for everybody. I think that's the ultimate goal going into this. It's going to be super cheap, probably like $30 if I had to say, just like it is on PC and all that. Yeah. So that's another bonus.
Well, I guess... Well, the more aspect, guys, before we get too far off topic, it's actually, we're more focusing on the fact that this game has surpassed games that have been out for years now and that are actually the top games, and it has now taken the second highest concurrent player count of all time. Well, and that's what we're
like Dota 2, right?
Yes.
Yeah. Well, and I think that Jarhead made a good point earlier on. He made a comparison between PUBG and Minecraft. And if anybody was gaming back when Minecraft first started releasing, Minecraft also released in a very similar way. It was before they had preview programs and stuff like that. But basically, you were buying an early alpha build that kept getting updates and updates and updates upon that. And maybe that has some appeal to it for the mass gamers out there. You're playing something that's more simple. Like if you look at Minecraft, very simple from a graphic perspective, but very complex mechanics. And in PUBG, like it's not a graphical showcase of what your PC can do or anything like that, but just it has solid mechanics. It's something that people like to play together, and I see that's really where it comes from, is not just the the gameplay itself, but also the social interaction. This game's been huge on different streaming platforms, and there's like so much tension with only having one life. I just think it has so much appeal to people that stream, and I think that's helping drive its popularity as well.
I think that's a really good point too that Mike was making, is like the one life thing. A lot of games that do that, do add that tension and add that like, oh man, we got to be really tactical. We got to think about what we do. And PUBG does that absolutely well. And it is a very community driven, very multiplayer type kind of game, which speaks well to the volumes of why it's doing so well. It's a very good like esports game. It's got that Hunger Games appeal to it. Has great shooting mechanics and all that kind of stuff. And now that they've added like the first person shooter stuff, I actually enjoy that more than the third person, just because you can get away from some of the I wouldn't say cheating because it is part of the game, but the ducking around and seeing over things and all that kind of stuff. You get away from that, and it becomes more about the gameplay and your gunplay and your tactics and stuff like that. So I'm super excited for it. I'm super happy that it's doing as well. It's like over 8 million sold now in just a few months. Like that's just crazy good for this team. And they're a small team, so they're getting Microsoft money behind it now. It's just going to be better and better.
I think it's great that they hit lightning in a bottle here, and like I said, they're doing so well. Well, they've over, like I said, GKB said 8 million copies, which is phenomenal, and to have that user base right now, playing on the servers and stuff, it's just amazing. I mean, I haven't had a chance to play it because I don't have a PC, so that's unfortunate. But I have watched quite a bit of videos and people play it on Mixer and stuff like that, and it does seem to have a dynamic, I guess, that's really hard to sum up. In a sense, it's simple, which is part of its charm. But the big question is really, how is it going to translate successfully over to the Xbox? Because Xbox, like PC games, for example, you see a lot of games that have been out for years that are still doing well online, like Counter-Strike Go, and it's largely because of the community. World of Warcraft, Dota, these type of games, they're not exactly new, but they still have an audience, whereas Xbox games are kind of like are kind of like a fart. They come out strong, but then they disappear pretty quickly.
Wow.
Basically, we on Xbox, I don't know what it is. Like we other than a few staple shooters, we constantly gravitate to the next hot thing. So how much life it has. Plus, again, you need to have Xbox Live to play online as well. Unlike PC games, where most of them you don't, unless you're paying for a subscription, like with World of Warcraft. So there's a lot of question marks and variables, but I still think it will find a home and do quite well when it does come to the Xbox platform, and hopefully through the preview program time and over the next couple of months, they work out some kinks, and the game will find a big success. And most importantly, I'm sure that Microsoft is hoping that this game will help sell a few consoles, and I think that it will. So I'm looking forward to trying it out and see what all the fuss is about.
That's the nice thing about this game is the fact because you can literally just jump in it, play it, and then you know if you're done, you can jump out. It's not a game that you have to stay. Like it's like a shooter, but just in a whole nother form of a shooter, which I think is what makes it so great.
Yeah. Although I do understand what Newf is saying there about, like, you know, console gamers, like, we're always moving on to the newest, hottest game that's coming out. Whereas with a lot of PC gamers that I know personally, they have their one go-to game that they've been playing for 7-8 years. And they always will play that game. They'll get new games as they come out, but they always have that staple that they're going to go back to. So what's the longevity of this game going to be on console? I mean, we're really going to have to wait and see, but I think with Xbox moving towards integrating streaming software into the console itself, that's going to help extend the life of this game on console.
But see, I agree with you guys, but honestly, it's been changing quite a lot. I mean, yeah, it's true what Newf said. I mean, despite his example about coming out like a fart and then just going away, but if you really look at what Xbox Live is becoming, remember all the jokes that, you know, oh, Microsoft is trying to become a service. Well, that's what Xbox Live, that was the whole purpose, what Microsoft has been wanting to do. Yeah, a lot of times the hype is not as big, but it's steady. Even for the unfortunate event with Titanfall 2, it still has a steady number, believe it or not, of people playing it. Let's not even, you know, forget about Overwatch. Gears is always packed, even in Halo, out of all games that people.
Well, and even going back to what you said earlier, like Minecraft is a perfect example of a service-based game. It's a game that continually gets updates, and the user base on that game hasn't gone down. Its sales, like that game is still selling. It's the GTA 5 of like multiple console generations. Like, you know, GTA 5 is always up at the top. Minecraft is still selling. Who doesn't have Minecraft yet? I don't know, but people are still out there buying it.
Yeah, I don't know. Yeah, I don't know how the hell there's always in the top 5 sales.
I'm not buying that trash. Screw that.
I'm not as creative as some of the people. But I mean, again, I think the game is gonna do okay. I mean, I think if anything, it's probably gonna catch more fire once it hits the consoles because there's a whole nother set of customers that.
Yeah, it definitely has legs.
That are hearing you know, everybody's hearing the hype, and so everybody's like, oh, wait a minute, I want to get on that. So I think it'll be great. And if they do cross, you know, with Steam, because you know Microsoft and Steam are in bed together for a while. So I think it'll be cool. I mean, me personally, I don't give a fuck. I'll play against somebody with a mouse and keyboard. I could care less. I'm sorry, we can curse, right? I'm my bad. Okay, I have a potty mouth.
Newf is in this show, just saying.
But yeah, I think PUBG could be that service-based game because right now it's still in early access and all that. I think it only has one map. Is that right?
Yeah.
Right,
there's a desert one coming soon.
Yeah, I know there's another one coming soon, but like, you know, they could continue to give us new maps and you know, different updates, even different game modes. Like, you know, this is a game that if the community picks it up and continues to play it for a long time, it can have legs that just keep on going, just like what we see with Minecraft.
Yeah, they had a new mode already, zombies or something.
They did?
Yep, for PC, but only for certain people. Like if you're, you know, the top tier. And you play their game and you're like partnered with them, they'll give you access to an extra server where you could play against zombies and stuff like that.
And one positive thing I heard coming out of Gamescom was a lot of people got to play PUBG on the Xbox, and there was a lot of concern about how the menus were going to work on console. Like usually that's the hardest transition between PC to console is the user interface and things like that. And there was a lot of positive news coming out about that. So it seems like this game is going to translate really well over to the console environment from what we're hearing so far.
Yeah, I'm sure Microsoft is like bringing people over there and take care of all that stuff.
Oh, that's been confirmed. They have that ninja team already somewhere in Europe.
Yeah, and even though Xbox and PC people are talking about this game craziness, and you know, nonstop, my brother's friends from the PlayStation side are now talking about it.
Well, of
recently.
course, but they're gonna.
So they're like,
wait.
they're really interested in it, but who knows?
They can just buy an Xbox. I mean,
exactly. That's what I'm saying.
They're signing petitions for PUBG to come to PlayStation. It's crazy.
That's stupid.
It is a very popular game, and I think that this game is going to be very successful no matter where it goes, and we're just going to have to see exactly when they release it. There's still a lot of question about the exact release date, and we're going to have to wait for that. But speaking of the Xbox One X, There's been some things going around about it will receive more Japanese games. Developers are saying good things. So, for instance, Aaron Greenberg said Microsoft has had and continues to have great relationships with Japanese developers and creators, having worked with both internationally and
internally and externally.
There you go. He knew what his writing is. And Microsoft are trying to maximize on their relationships. So I guess, like, when it comes down to it, are you guys excited to see more Japanese games come, or is this kind of another spot that Microsoft shouldn't really be focusing on?
Like, for me, like, Japanese games are like hit or miss. Like, sometimes I really enjoy them and sometimes I don't. Like, I'm a big fan of like Dark Souls and all that kind of stuff. Yeah, it's not like a JRPG in a sense, but it's from Japanese developers and I really love that game. But yeah, it's kind of like, meh. If we get more options, more games, everybody's happy. I think they're going after, and you know, with Phil's trip over there, and you know, hey, we have the Xbox One X, most powerful console, yada yada yada. And when you're a developer, you know, they're very tech-minded people. They're very into like all that kind of stuff. So seeing new tech and wanting to develop on it, you know, just speaks to them and all that kind of stuff. So it makes sense. I don't know if this is going to translate to like, you know, the next Persona game or any of that stuff coming over to the Xbox. I think it would be great for the people that really enjoy that kind of stuff. But if not, for me, it's not really a big deal at the end of the day.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I think it all depends on the type of game, like what GKB was saying. There are a lot of great games that come from Japanese developers. There's no denying that. There's also a lot of, you know, crummy games that come out of there. You know, it's all based off of your personal preference. What I like may be something that somebody else hates, and vice versa. But when it comes to Japanese games coming over the Xbox One, I have 3 words and 1 letter that I'm really excited for. I just saw it fire up there in the chat. Dragon Ball FighterZ. I cannot wait for that game to come out. If that's a sign of the future of what we're going to see coming out of Japanese developers, then I'm all for it. Bring me more games like that.
Absolutely. I think it's a win-win for everybody. Whether, you know, some of us could care less about certain Japanese-style games, but I mean, it doesn't hurt to have options because you know what? I'm like last gen for the 360. There's this weird game. It's like a Cubo game. I forgot the name. What is it? It's a weird Japanese game. Anyways, weird game that I would have never played in my entire life.
What happens in the game? I guess
is it Katamari?
No, it's the one that you gotta move the boxes. It's like Kubo.
It's Cube.
Cube.
But with the Japanese guy, about there's basically like a fucking baby fetus chasing you up there.
Oh my god!
Weird.
Okay.
Let me
No, that I have no idea.
You know
what
what?
you're talking about.
Go past me and I'll find the name.
Okay,
It's
well,
not Katamari Damacy.
No,
Sounds
it's not.
like Japanese
it's not
game
that.
to me.
all right.
It's weird.
So when it comes to Japanese games, like my biggest thing is this goes with any genre. It's literally not just Japanese game themselves. It's pretty much any developer. Like you guys said, you know, it's whether or not that's your style of game that they produce, because there's a lot of Japanese developers who have given us a lot of RPG games. There's a lot of them that have given, you know, adventure games and everything else like that. Heck, I'm sure there's actually a lot of games that if you guys actually went and looked who developed it, you'd find out that they were actually Japanese developers. So
I'm sorry, it's Catherine. Yay, found the game.
oh, someone just posted it. in
Somebody just
the-
said in the chat too.
yeah.
That's funny.
Yeah.
So, you know, hearing that they're working with Japanese developers to bring more games to the Xbox One X, I'm happy because that just means more games. That doesn't necessarily mean that you're getting, like, say, JRPGs only or anything like that. Just because they are a Japanese developer does not mean that they are only going to create Japanese style of games. Because there is. If you go and look, like I said, there's a lot of games that, you know, you guys all probably love that were probably developed by Japanese developers. So,
And didn't I hear that Nier Automata is going to get a port coming over to Xbox in the future?
That's always a
It's a
possibility.
possibility. It's
There's
not
a
classified
rumor-
as a console exclusive, so
There's a rumor, but the developer, which was that douchebag from the Dragon game, he won't confirm. But
yeah.
Platinum Games.
Yes.
Yeah, and plus the game
Scalebound.
seems to have done pretty well on PlayStation overall. So, you know, maybe if it struggled to find a home, they'd be more encouraged maybe to make another port of that game. But it's hard to say. And just my two thoughts on the whole Japanese thing. Well, it's a good thing. I mean, there's no such thing as really having
Too many games
or expanding your portfolio. Although I did a video about too many games, I won't get into that. But you know, it's good to expand the portfolio, not only for, you know, the Japanese audience, but it's good for us as well. I mean, there's a lot of great games coming out for the PlayStation right now, whether we want to admit it or not. Maybe some of the names are hard to pronounce, but you know, they're good games and they will find a home one way or the other. And you know, like I said, and the more games we can have, the more choice that we have, it's only good for gamers as a whole. There's a lot of stuff right now that came out recently that I would love to play on Xbox if I had the choice, like Nier Automata. It looks like a really cool game. You know, Persona's getting a lot of love. I've never tried it. I don't know if it's my kind of thing, but I'd at least be open to trying it. There's a few other games as well. The Yakuza series actually is one by Sega that I would certainly love to see come over to the Xbox platform. But I mean, the fact that I own all the systems, it kind of doesn't make a big deal to me, kind of, because I can go get it on the PlayStation if I want it, but I'd still prefer to play most of my games on Xbox. So
are you trying to say you're an adult, sir, that you just buy whatever the fuck you want to play and not be a douchebag? What?
Yeah, absolutely. It's a rarity nowadays. Go figure. You know? Yeah.
You know what I would really like to see Square Enix come out with a Kingdom Hearts 1 and 2 remaster for the Xbox ecosystem.
I agree.
Because we already know Kingdom Hearts 3 is going to be multi-plat, so why not bring those into the Xbox family where we haven't played those games yet?
It would be such a smart thing to do.
Yeah,
I would die if they did that. I love.
Oh well,
Kingdom
don't
Hearts.
die. But yeah, that would be that would be great. I mean, why not? Make some extra money and more people hear about your game. I think that's great, because then after 3, then maybe it could keep going. But when it comes to Japanese games, I'm really picky. It's nice to have the option, obviously, but sometimes some of them games are just so way too weird. So I mean, if we don't get any, you know, Japanese games about little schoolgirls, I'm okay with that. You can keep that somewhere else. But the ones that stand out to me are the ones that are like based on anime games and stuff like that. And I think some of them are good, but most of them don't really translate well to a game. But yeah, options are great. Bring them on. More games for everybody.
They need to make a Cowboy Bebop game, man.
Oh my god, yes.
They need to bring over some of them
That'd be
Gundam
cool.
games. God damn, I want some Gundam games.
You and
Gundam games. Those are tough ones though, because sometimes they're just trash, and then sometimes. Well, I think
Yeah,
there's
some are
only
good,
been
some.
one good one. It was on the GameCube, from what I remember, and you
The
were like
Dreamcast one, too.
inside the robot and everything.
They're making one, I think, but it's like an online fighter, I think.
Yeah.
GKB, do you
Yeah.
ever play any of the Armored Core series?
Yeah, I played Armored Core for sure.
Oh, that was a perfect like alternative to Gundam that I loved that on the PS2. That was a great series.
Heck yeah, man.
I think they had one on the 360, from what I remember.
I think so, yeah.
Yeah. But yeah,
You know,
pretty cool. I think it's great.
For some of these companies, maybe they're afraid to take a bit of a risk, which I don't understand, because the console similarities between PlayStation and Xbox are next to nil. So it can't be that hard to, you know, again, to develop and port over a game for the other platform. So like if they are wary of taking that financial risk, you know, I don't know why Microsoft doesn't step up and find some way to publish some of these games themselves if need be, just to take on that risk and responsibility. It'd be worth going for. I mean, if you sell an extra 150,000 copies or 200,000 even here, I suppose it's still worthwhile.
Agreed.
That is true. Alright, so moving on. Now, this one is probably going to be more focused to you tech guys, like GKB, and I'm pretty sure Jarhead is up there, same with Phantom. And alright, so we have just heard that Call of Duty World WW2 is going to be, it runs over 1440p at 620p with dynamic res. What do you guys think this means for the Xbox One X?
Dun dun dun. I don't know, like from the tweets and stuff that Sledgehammer and stuff have been saying, they're like, oh, we maxed out the Pro, we maxed the Xbox One X out, we're doing all this crazy stuff and yada yada yada. I think it comes down to ultimately 60 frames per second to run a game takes a lot of resources. And Call of Duty is going to be 60 frames per second. And now if they have to like lower the resolution to get it at 60 frames per second, I'm totally 100% behind that. Because shooters feel absolutely great at 60 FPS. And that's probably one of the reasons behind it. Maybe the Xbox One X will have a higher base resolution. I don't think it's going to be doing 4K 60 in that kind of title. It's just an engine that's not really well optimized. Even on PC, it doesn't even run that great and stuff like that. So,
and I think that's the key there is it's the engine. It's still an old engine that they just do minor updates to get it, you know, looking better on newer hardware. They haven't gone to a new engine like since like Call of Duty 4.
Yep.
So, I mean, if it's 1440p with dynamic res up to 1620p on Xbox One X, hey, you know what? That's better than 1080p. That's better than 900p. I'm not that concerned about how many Ps I have. What I want is a game that's going to play well. I'm really interested in this Call of Duty for the first time in many, many years. So as far as whether it's 4K, dynamic 4K, if it doesn't even hit 4K, if it's like, you know, 2.5K at 1620, whatever, it's going to look good. It's not going to look horrible. I'm over the resolution talk, so it's more about how it runs to me. And Call of Duty is always going to run well at 60 FPS.
You know, Dirty J Points makes a good point. Like, they're still using the old engines. So how exactly is that going to work with like pushing these resolutions and stuff like that when they're still running with the old engines?
Well, they're just talking about like a resolution. Like when it comes from the developer and they're saying we're maxing out, and they're just talking about resolution at 60 frames per second. You got to understand that too. It's not a 30 frames per second game. It's 60 frames per second. So it takes a way less amount for them to max out these consoles. Does it really? Who knows? You have to talk to them. I'm not a developer. I don't work on that team and all that kind of stuff. But 60 FPS does take a lot of resources.
Well, and I also think a lot of older engines, they were more CPU bound than they were GPU bound. Like with newer engines, they have a lot of offloading to the GPU to let it do some more CPU bound specific operations. So, you know, if it can't hit 4K, if it's doing the 60 frames per second, if it is the engine that's holding it back, then hopefully they'll update that engine at some time in the future. But for now, I think we need to be happy with what we get.
No, I agree. I think honestly, as long as the frames are steady, it'll be fine. Even if it's dynamic resolution, the X can, because of the horsepower, can still keep it as if it was that, you know what I mean, static. So I mean, it's still a win-win. I'm sorry, a little news. The sun has come out officially here in Houston for the first time since fucking Friday, and I'm gonna fire up the fucking grill the minute we get out. Just wanted to say that.
Nice.
So my wife is like dancing at the window, so we're good.
Congrats.
Nice, congrats.
We're live.
Awesome.
Anyways, but yeah, I think it'll be fine. Like GKB and Mike said, fuck the resolution talk, man. The game is gonna look great as long as it runs great. That's all I care.
All right, well then jumping off of the resolution talk for just a second, it has released on the PlayStation 4 early beta. Has anybody here got to try it yet?
I wish.
I don't have Sony system, so I wouldn't know.
Fox, have you seen it? I know your brothers play PlayStation.
Yeah, he's like tired of COD, so he didn't pick it up. And I was like, God damn it, I gotta go get my own copy now.
Oh, okay, never mind. I guess you guys will have to wait till next week to find out our thoughts about the PlayStation.
I mean, I did see some gameplay here and there when people were streaming it. It does look good. I'm really interested. Makes me want to go pick it up even quicker. I obviously I don't care about resolution, but I do care about the gameplay. Yeah, I do care about the gameplay. Yeah, and I like how old school it is.
The funniest thing that I saw out of the gameplay was I think there was a GIF that was floating around on Twitter.
Oh god, I knew.
Is it GIF or GIF?
It's a GIF. It's a GIF. Don't worry about it. Don't worry about it. It's a GIF.
Oh my.
Anyway,
there's a guy.
We're gonna move on because I know what Mike is gonna say. No, anyways, we're going to move on because I know what Mike is gonna say.
I mean, I have a PlayStation, but I didn't pre-order the game, so I didn't get on the beta. I kind of like Foxy. I've seen clips here and there. I even watched just one guy just completely ragging on it, and like I couldn't even complete the whole video because I'm like, dude, it's a freaking beta, and the stuff he's complaining about, he was like, you know, he was talking as if it was a complete game and blah blah blah. You know what I mean? Like, I don't know. Some people still don't get the whole point between betas. They just treat it as if it's like the retail version and all that stuff. So I don't know. You're going to please some people and you're going to piss off others. It is what it is, you know, because technically they're going back a little bit. But I think it's going to be a refreshing game when it comes out, and I can't wait to try it.
It's just as silly as the people complaining about the fucking alpha rank. What the?
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, it drives me
for,
insane.
For anyone who wants to know, the gift that Mike was talking about was I was tagged in. They're like, "Oh, hey, it's SheWulf. Literally, no jetpacks."
I'm sorry. What was that? What was that called? It's a
GIF.
It's a GIF, bro.
It's a GIF. All right, so moving on to something that I'm sure a lot of you Xbox gamers are actually pretty excited for because, well, who doesn't like free things? Free things are always fun. So they actually released September's games with gold. Now, starting off, you will be able to download Forza Motorsports 5, which is a $39 value for free for the first first part of the month of September. You will be able to get Motorsports 5, and you'll also be able to get Hydro Thunder Hurricane, which is $14.99. I don't know how many people are excited for that, but the second half of September... Don't worry, you guys will be able to talk about in just a second. Just let me get out the second half. The second half is going to be Oxenfree, which is a $20 game, and you'll also be able to get Battlefield 3. So, what do you guys think about games with gold? Do you guys think this is a good month, or is this a weak month?
It's okay. I mean, it's cool that we got like Forza 5, but why didn't you just throw Forza 6 in there? I don't understand that one. That's been out for plenty of time. There was 6, 7's coming out. Why not play the latest one before the newest one comes out? Oxenfree is cool. I played through that whole game. I didn't like the ending. It's terrible. And I really was excited about that. But all in all, it was still a good game. The other ones I don't really know or anything about. And Battlefield is Battlefield. So if you like Battlefield, great. For me, though, just a meh.
Yeah, same here. I mean, as far as just Forza series, I don't know why they didn't drop 6, especially when 7's right around the corner. Get people hyped for, you know, the simulator side of the Forza series. And
because they're saving the 6 for the Game Pass.
Yeah. Oh, I'm VIP. I've been VIP in every single Forza since 2. So, so I have all the DLC, all the games. But for everybody else, I mean, you would figure let's drop 6 because 7's coming out. People and 6 is amazing quality with the weather and everything like that. So as far as like Hydro Thunder, last time I played that, I think I was at Chuck E. Cheese or something. But
oh my god!
But
Wow.
I'm completely indifferent to it.
If that's what you're into, I mean, more power to you. But it's
no love.
nah.
No love in this panel.
I was excited for Oxenfree until GKB spoiled the ending and said it was
play
crap.
it. No, play the game.
Okay.
Because I got the game. It's a good game.
It's a good game. I'm not saying that.
The game is good. The game is good. Playing the whole entire game is good. Just don't expect the ending to be great. Like the rest of the game is awesome to play through.
I was so into this game. Like I was hooked. I was like, oh man, all this creepy shit
overhyped.
going on and all this other stuff. And then the last 15 minutes, I'm like, what the fuck?
The game does that, Fox. The game literally does that. It like
the game hypes you up.
It does. As you're
It's
playing,
building up to this like super awesome like reveal and all this other stuff, and it's like, oh damn, you just fucking killed me.
Well, good to know. Good to know. I'll keep my expectations in check.
Just get it on sale. That's when I got it. I got it for like.
I do have to remind everybody because I think we fall into a small trap, and that is that majority of people who run podcasts and do this, we classify ourselves as pretty hardcore gamers. If we weren't, I don't even think you'd be doing podcasts or doing mixer streams and things like that. So I think what we have to remember is when we look at the games with gold or the PlayStation Plus games, is we have to remember that, you know, we probably have those games, played them to death and beat them. So we kind of look at them and go, you know what I mean? But we still have to remember from the outside looking in, for all the new adopters who are picking up their Xbox One for the first time, never played these games, maybe don't even know anything about them. It's incredible value, and there's some great titles. So I think you always have to look at the titles objectively. Because for me, I think it's a great lineup. I bet I'm not that excited because I own Forza 5. I played the hell out of it. You know what I mean? And same with Battlefield 3. But those are like phenomenal games. At any other time, or to any other gamer who's never tried them, or maybe just had a taste test, this is a pretty damn good lineup if you think about it. So I just wanted to put that out there that a lot of people hear us and we go, you know, we kind of drone over it.
Yeah, that's
but
why I kind of say, like,
the
for
average.
me, it's a meh, not for everybody else. That's why
Yeah.
I throw that in there.
Yeah, I completely agree.
Yeah, my feelings are exactly what Newf just said. I mean, it's not bad. Can't go wrong with free games.
It's
Hell
fun.
yeah! I mean, I own three of. I own 3 of them already, and we were talking about this on Gaming Den, and I was hyped for it. And I own 3 of the games already. The only one I don't own is Oxenfree, which I'm just gonna play like
Play it.
Well,
calmly.
okay, so apparently
Chill.
there's like different endings, but I guess me and
Yeah, there's
GKB
different.
could
You have
just
to play
never
through 'em.
get them.
Okay,
Okay,
I
well,
got,
either
I
way,
got one in.
I'm
Wasn't that
looking forward to trying that game. I can't wait to check it out, but I'll still keep my expectations in check. But even though I own the other 3 games, I still like them. I still think it's pretty cool. I'm happy that my friends get to play them as well. And if they want to jump in and we can play multiplayer, that's awesome. So
See,
I
Foxy,
like the.
Here's the advantage of still buying the physical copies is that now we can actually download the digital
Yeah,
one out
oh,
and trade the games
hell
back
yeah.
to the store.
Well, I'm not gonna
Nice.
do that because I'm a collector. But I
Yeah,
mean, I got
Fox
to. No, I have both. I love having both. Every time they put something, you know, especially if it's from when the Xbox first launched, I'm like, yeah, I got both. I don't have to worry about putting the disc in. So I'm happy with the games that they have on there. I thought it was a pretty good set of games. Better than last month, definitely.
Very sure.
Probably better than the last 2 months, actually.
All right. So we're going to jump into another quick talk because I'm pretty sure this is probably going to be pretty quick. But, of course, everybody knows the famous da-na-na-na-na-na-na. Yeah, so I was
I
gonna
love
put,
that song.
I was
need to
gonna
watch
play
that
the
show.
I was gonna play the real music, but then we'd probably get hit with like huge
No, the
copyrights.
copyright.
So I'm like, yeah, no, I better not. All right. So Target kind of leaked a listing of Bethesda's new game, Game of Thrones. Now, a lot of people have actually kind of been wondering why an actual Game of Thrones game was never actually created. For the fact of
it was
Well,
totally
there
created.
was the Telltale game.
well, no, that's
But
not
there
what
is-
I mean.
There's another Game of Thrones game too. It's
Yeah, isn't
called
there like an
Shadow
RTS?
of Mordor. It's called
It was-
Shadow of War.
Okay, well, those are okay. First off, those are Lord of the Rings. Those aren't actually Game of Thrones. But so either like, yeah, you guys are throwing me off here. So when it comes to this, like, I think it would actually be pretty exciting to see a fantasy open world RPG game like this, like the Game of Thrones. However,
So
I wouldn't want those characters. I would want to be able to create my own character in it. Like, but you could be like part, like you get to be like, say for instance, you would be able to pick which house you're part of instead.
That'd be awesome.
So like you could be like a White Walker, like more like Elder Scrolls style, where you could be like say a White Walker,
Scrolls
or you
Online.
could be like
let me ask this then: is the first half of the game going to be walking around with our dongs out and like fucking everything, and then the second half?
well
is
they
like-
can okay well
How's
they
this gonna
can
work?
they can take a friggin' touch of like friggin' Conan and add that dong slider in there for you boys. So
Yeah,
feel
wow.
good, feel
Well,
good.
I don't know, like, I
And
would
then
rather
you can just
play,
get it cut off by somebody later on. So.
Oh my god!
I'm not just saying.
Game of Thrones, the only show on television that has made incest cool.
Yeah.
I'm out of here.
Oh
Well,
my
even good
God.
night, everybody.
Yeah.
I was really excited for this announcement because I love the Game of Thrones TV show and I love the books as well. My biggest question is Bethesda as a publisher is very diverse. What kind of a game is this going to be? Is this going to be like Game
Fallout
of Thrones
skins.
Skyrim edition?
Or
Is this going to
Skyrim.
be like Game of Thrones Doom? What kind of Game of Thrones are we going to see? That's what really has my interest peaked right
As
now.
long as they don't use the same graphics engine as Fallout or Skyrim, I'll take a look. But other than that, I'm not
breaking my heart,
excited.
man. I love Skyrim.
I know you do. Most people do. Believe it or not, I couldn't get into Fallout. I'm thinking of getting it again to give it a try, but honestly, I'm not a. Sorry, man. Witcher for life. I got a tattoo of Geralt on my chest, dude.
Well, I got a
Oh,
tattoo of the Skyrim logo on my arm, so take that.
Oh, there you go.
You
I
know
just
what?
think it
That
would be a
up to
cool
tattoos.
idea to
I'm
bring
gonna
a game
DM you
like
pictures
this.
of me then.
Yeah, like, for me, like,
Uh-oh.
I don't know if Bethesda's a good fit for Game of Thrones. I get the whole like Skyrim, I get the whole Fallout, but at the end of the day, I don't know if I want that kind of game. I'd rather just have another Skyrim or another Fallout series. I don't know if I want a reskin or rehash of that type of game. I'd much rather, see like WB, like what they're doing with like Shadow of War and Shadow of Mordor kind of stuff. I think that fits more.
What if it's an online game like Elder Scrolls Online? What if it's Game of Thrones where you have this large player base and everybody's scheming against each other like that? That could work.
Yeah, I mean, we have to see what
complicated as hell.
I'm hearing more rumors of it being an RPG game because of something that happened before. So they were in talks with Bethesda like back in 2011, talking about this game. And they wanted to focus on Skyrim and other stuff. So they declined. And now this is coming up again.
Okay, but I just want to make this clear to everybody who is watching. We are not saying that there is a game. We are just saying that NeoGaf user actually spotted a listing on Target, which we all know that a lot of these things tend to be fake. They just seem to be stupid posts that people put on. But we wanted to talk about and bring it up because Bethesda is still a very big company that makes a lot of great games that a lot of us know. So don't jump to the fact that we're saying that there is one of these or anything like that, or whether they said yes or no that they are doing it. We're just talking about the fact of there was a listing for it. So
yeah, I just think it makes logical sense. Like where there's smoke, sometimes there's fire, but like they have the ability, they have the game engine, it's proven. And because we've seen what they did with Skyrim, I mean, basically you just take the Game of Thrones characters, you throw them into that world, and hopefully you can blend the story really well to do some twists or different things. It could be a totally spin-off story too within the world, because apparently there's a Game of Thrones spin-off series coming after this one is done. So that's kind of cool. So if there's one company that could do it and probably do it well, I would have to give it to Bethesda. I think just the whole thought of it gets us excited. But like you said, it might be nothing at all. It might be strictly rumor. But like I said, sometimes where there's smoke, there's fire. We've seen where these things have come true in the past, and we've also seen where these things fall through the cracks and don't materialize at all. Bethesda says no, but I mean, what are you going to expect? A company to come out like years in advance and say, yeah, this game exists?
Yeah. Well, especially, Fallout, when they were asked about Fallout, they were told, oh, no, and then guess what?
Because they don't like commenting on rumors until the game is for sure ready. Yep. And I do appreciate that they do that. But there are heavy rumors saying that they are working on 2 games. This could be one of them, because the other one, I was hearing it was Starfield or something like that. Yeah, I don't know what that's about, but those are the 2 right now. They're actually coming up a lot, and they're not going to confirm or deny, obviously. But Target, to have Target show a listing whether it was real or fake, that's really interesting, because usually we hear it from like Amazon or something else.
Yeah,
I don't know. Like I mean, I've read some of the books and all that. I watched the series and all that kind of stuff. I don't know. To me, like Bethesda just doesn't fit with that whole thing. But I could be wrong. It just looks like it would need almost like a BioWare team or something like that for Game of Thrones, with just all the twists and story and all that kind of stuff. But I don't know.
Understandable. Yeah.
I just want a damn game that I can have a damn dragon and just give me Scalebound back. And
what about a Drake? Shadow of War. What about a Drake?
That's what I'm saying. That's Game of Thrones right there. It's good.
I don't want a Drake.
She doesn't want it. Oh, okay.
I want a real dragon.
Dragon Age.
I just have a quick question. Not to get
she
off
wants
topic.
Spyro. What?
Spyro?
But you guys mentioned
Spyro.
You mentioned BioWare. Did BioWare come out and announce a game called Star Wars: The Old Republic?
No,
A new one? Because don't they have something like that?
I was on their website. I was on the BioWare website to see if they're hiring anybody for the Edmonton location, because I was thinking about going down, maybe applying for some type of position with them. And I noticed on the BioWare Austin site, they are hiring various positions for a game called Star Wars: The Old Republic.
Oh, that's the PC one, probably.
Yeah, that's the one that's already out.
Okay.
It's probably like an expansion for the MMO, because it's
Right.
not Knights of the Old Republic. Yeah, it's just called the Old Republic, I think.
Yeah, the Edmonton location is hiring people for Anthem and hiring people for another Dragon's Age.
Yeah, they're all over there working like on the next Dragon Age and all that kind of stuff. So
Dragon Age should have just stayed away. Like, was the first one actually like successful? Like, how many people actually played Dragon Age? GKB, don't even.
That game.
You know what, GKB, don't even. We bought that damn game. We even bought 2 copies of that game, and we didn't play either of them.
Ooh, get called out live.
I played it just like I play The Witcher. Like I play it for so long, and then I'm like, there's so much fucking shit to do. I just don't want to do anything. And bye.
Actually, I know a lot of people that love Dragon Age. Shout out to Luca.
Yeah, I know.
I love Dragon Age, except for going back to the stupid board and doing that stupid shit, and then going back out into the world. Oh my god, it drove me fucking nuts.
I like the graphics in Dragon
I digress.
Age.
In the last Dragon Age, it got a little bit repetitive there for me with closing the what was it, the portals or whatever they were.
Yeah, everywhere.
Like it looked cool the first couple of times I did it, and then after that I was like, oh man, I'm done with it.
Exactly.
Alrighty, guys. So now we are going to jump into our first segment of the show because I'm pretty sure I hit a lot of Dragon Age fans' hearts. But
Pissed off at you right now.
I'm just saying I didn't really hear too much about it. Like, you don't really hear a lot of people talk about
I'll take care of her after the show.
Oh, don't worry, I'll get my ass beaten. Don't worry. Anyways, and we are...
Bang, boom, kapow, it's what's out now. Are those really the lyrics?
Don't question my genius.
Alright, take it away, Mike.
All right, everyone. It's going to be a long list of games for what's out now, so I'm not going to go into describing what the types of games are. You got to figure that out on your own. So, going back to, I think it was Thursday, the 24th, on Xbox One, we got Path of Exile. Then on the 25th, for the Xbox One, Path of Exile was for the Xbox One, just wanted to call that out there. On the 25th, for Xbox One, PC, and PS4, we got F1 2017. Also on the 25th for the Xbox One and the PS4, we got Madden NFL 18. This year's entry actually looks pretty good, so I might be interested in that. Then that same day for the PC, PS4, and the Switch, we got One Piece Unlimited World Red. On the 25th, also for the PS4, we had the Call of Duty World War II beta began. Then that same day for the Xbox One, the PS4, and the PC, we got Naruto Shippuden Ultimate Ninja Storm Trilogy. Then, moving a little further along, yesterday on the PC, Destiny 2 beta, early access or closed beta began. Now, moving to today, the 29th, this is where it gets pretty long here. For the Xbox One, the PS4, and the PC, we got Rock of Ages 2. Then, for the PS4 and the PC, we got Warriors All-Stars. On the Switch, we saw the release of Mario and Rabbids Kingdom Battle. On the PS4 and the Vita, we got a game called Windjammers. For the Xbox One and the PC, we got Recore, the Definitive Edition. Then for the Xbox One and the PS4, we have Pillars of Eternity, the Complete Edition. For the Xbox One, the PC, and the PS4, we have Surf World Series. For the Xbox One, Killing Floor 2 finally made its way to Xbox. It's been on PS4 for a couple of months there. I think it came out last November. It's made its way to the Xbox One now. Also today for the Xbox One, the PS4, and the PC, we got a expansion for XCOM 2 called The War of the Chosen. Also for the Xbox One, the PS4, and the PC, Ark Survival Evolved, the full release. It is now out of preview. You have the full game just released today. Then for the Xbox One and the PS4, we got Resident Evil Revelations, the re-release. On the PC, the open beta for Destiny 2 begins today. So for those of you that don't have a beta key, go ahead and hop on and play some Destiny 2 on PC.
Hell yeah.
For PSVR, we got a game called Spark, and that is SPARC, not with a K at the end. For the PS4 and the PC, we also saw the release of Absolver. It looks like a really cool kung fu game. It might be getting an Xbox One release later on. So if you're interested in that type of game, and you have a PC or PS4, you might want to look into getting it now. For the PS4, we also saw the release of Yakuza Kiwami. For today, we also got the release of Everybody's Golf. Then, into the Xbox Game Pass, we had the Recore Definitive Edition added today, yesterday. And into the Xbox One backwards compatibility program, we just now saw the release of a couple of the Telltale's Walking Dead series. We got seasons 1, 2, and the Michonne edition for the Xbox 360, now available in back compat. They have Xbox One versions available, but if you still have that 360 edition, now you can play it on your Xbox One. And that, my friends, is what's out now.
Everybody,
Awesome!
you get your actual Recore edition today. The one you should have got a year ago.
Yeah. Can't wait to play more of that, because it's
I
the
guess
full
really it
version.
should be.
I stopped playing that game just for this update. Like, I was like, I don't want to continue playing until like we had the update, and so I stopped like after we bought it, and now we finally got it. Now I can finally go back and play it.
You know,
Is
and
it true that they got the orb requirement stuff? Did they clear that?
I don't know
I
about
think that's still
that,
part
but
of it.
I think it's the DLC of the tank bot. They announced like maybe 3 weeks after the game launched last year that the tank bot was coming as future DLC. And like SheWulf said, I stopped playing the game when I heard that we were getting this DLC to complete the game. And now here it is, almost 11 months later, we finally have that DLC. So I guess what we really should be saying is instead of Recore Definitive Edition launched, it's Recore came out of preview.
Exactly.
More or less.
It wasn't that bad.
No, it was a good game, but I mean,
It was a
definitely
good
misses.
game, but it wasn't
mean,
complete. Like,
if you're gonna say it's a definitive edition, I mean, for almost like a 6 gig download, I mean, there's a lot more in it than just textures and a new bot. You know what I mean? They went back and they overhauled a lot in that game.
For sure.
And
Yeah.
I just meant
it's
more or less
amazing.
the
I love it.
like,
I love it. It's amazing.
I just mean more or less the bot, like the core bot. He should have.
And the
Like, he
mission
was at the beginning.
that came with him.
Yeah, and his mission.
Yeah.
Because
He
there
was
was
on the
parts of
box
the
art.
game you actually couldn't go in because you didn't have him, but he was on the cover and he was introduced when they announced the game. So it was just that bothered me. But so let's get back to the actual show now, because Definitive Edition wasn't on it. All right. Eurogamer asked Mike Ibarra about enhancements for Destiny 2 and Call of Duty World War II. He also was asked about marketing deals holding back the enhancements. Now, Mike Ibarra did state, I'd like to say we are working with all developers, including the ones you named, to make sure the best versions are on the Xbox One X. It is up to them and what they want to do.
And actually talk about what, if anything, they are doing on marketing deals. He also refused to answer when they directly asked him about marketing deals. He was like, I'm not answering that. But before he walked away, he said, we work with those developers all the time. We want to align with their messaging and what they want to say when they want to say it. We work with them on timing, how we can help optimize. There's a group in my organization called Advanced Technology Group, which works with the developers on the Xbox One X. We dock to their timeline and align to their communications plan. I can't comment on any limitations they might have. Very PR talk there.
Still the smartest thing he could have ever said, because I mean, he is right, and he really can't call him out. But it's the smartest thing he could say. I mean, either way, the Xbox is going to get criticized when anybody with common sense knows, guys, it's up to Bungie. I mean, Microsoft can't put a gun to their head.
Yeah, and to be fair, like Bungie's come out and said, hey, we're working on the ones that are releasing here in September, October, whenever it's coming out.
Right.
And that's what they're focused on. So who knows what's going to happen after that? When it releases, they start getting some patches out. They might devote some time. It might not be, launch where you're going to get the update for Destiny and or Call of Duty. But like I said, I went back to talking about like the Call of Duty stuff is, they came out and said they're already maxing out the power in the X. Why would they say that if a thing's not coming out? It's definitely probably a marketing thing. Sony's probably locked down for them talking about this game, talking about the Xbox One X, and for good reason. They put a shit ton of money into Bungie and Activision and all that kind of stuff, and they want everybody to know that's going to be on their system and try and not let anybody know it's on anything else. So it is what it is.
I definitely agree. Does anyone else have any comments about the enhancements on the Xbox One X?
I just feel like it's a matter of wait and see, because right now we don't know what they are and aren't allowed to talk about, and the Xbox One X isn't out yet. So if we hear a week after the game launches for all consoles that, hey, these are the enhancements that we have in store for a future patch for the Xbox One X, that's great. If there aren't any enhancements, I mean, that's If you're on the fence about buying this game because you're upset about not hearing Xbox One X enhancements coming out, then you're just gonna have to wait. If you wanted to play the game because of the game itself, then get it regardless of whether it's going to get a patch or not.
Mm-hmm.
Exactly. People just want more thing to make a big deal out of stupid shit as usual.
Well, I think one thing about the enhancements, though, is that I'm really happy that many of the games are getting them, especially games that may have, could use a little boost, a little shot in the arm, so to speak, like Quantum Break and games like that they're going to get, an upgrade. It might encourage more people to go back and either buy a copy or revisit the game. It's never a bad thing. I think they're heading in the right direction. I think we're seeing a mild list of upgrades right now, but I think in the future, a lot of games as they're being developed now, with the Xbox One X hardware and the dev kits like in hand, I think we're only going to see a bigger improvement in the future, right? You know what I mean? Like assets are kind of built right in, sort of from the ground up, that sort of thing. So it's good. I think it's a fantastic thing. Like this whole Tomb Raider thing has been awesome, and it's definitely stirred the pot, that's for sure. And no, I just think it's a good thing. I'm pretty happy with the list so far.
Yeah, I'm not happy with what Mikey Barr said at all. I mean, I'm not surprised. He said what he had to say. He can't comment too much on it because it is up to the dev, and they're always pointing that stuff out on Twitter. It doesn't mean it's not coming just because they're not talking about it right now. So yeah, I agree with you guys completely.
For sure.
Definitely.
That's my thing about all the Xbox One X enhancements anyway. I mean, this is, even though they say it's a mid-console refresh, it's a brand new console, no matter what they want to call it, because of the power and everything else. I mean, most of these engines that they're all using for were built when the 360 came out, and you look at the beginning 360 games to the end of its lifespan, and the difference in how much power they were able to pull out of it. They had to create those game engines. Mm-hmm. So when X1 drops, yeah, they have their dev kits and stuff like that, but they're still using old game engines. So as this new X comes out and more devs are getting hands-on with it, they're going to be like, okay, we need to create a new engine that has better compression, everything, to get this thing to minimum. Every game should be now 1080 60 from here on out. There's no excuse. With the power of the X, there's no excuse for it. Now, whether the dev can do it or not, that's on them and the engine they use. And as far as Bungie goes, they've never, as far as I know, even in the Halo, never hit 60 frames. So that could be some engine and programming that they use that's holding them back. So
yeah,
that's where I see it all.
Even the PC version of Destiny 2, that's not being developed by Bungie. They're using another studio to develop that for them. They're basically outsourcing it.
Yep.
So when it comes to an unlocked frame rate, that is new territory for Bungie that they haven't gotten into before.
Yeah, they've been primarily just console developers for I don't know how many years now. So yeah, I mean, I don't know. I mean, yeah, they may not have experience with 60 FPS games, but at the end of the day, they're all programmers. I'm sure they can figure it out. I don't think it's an issue of that. I just think it's like an issue of time and resources. They just don't want to do it. They have to go across all these platforms and all this kind of stuff and develop and optimize for those. So I think it was just a cost-effective thing to be like, hey, we're just doing 30 on all of them, and we're just going to give visual benefits for whatever can handle it.
Yeah. Well, and it also comes down to balancing. If they can only hit 30 FPS on vanilla PS4 and vanilla Xbox One hardware,
play together.
Yeah, then there's no way they're going to give 60 FPS to the Xbox One X or the PS4 Pro, even if the hardware is capable of it, just to keep that balance and keep the community, basically keep it all coherent between everybody that's playing.
True.
That's a good point.
Yeah, I'm not surprised. Not surprised at all.
So, you guys pretty much said it all. So there's not really a whole lot that I really can reply to on that. Everyone knows my thoughts on marketing deals. I do find that they obviously should probably get a few more of them because, they do make the stand when you see, products out in stores and all that kind of stuff. But Overall, you guys pretty much said it all. So
it does bring up an interesting conversation, though, as far as marketing deals go. Should a marketing deal prevent a developer from talking about how a game runs on one platform versus another?
I mean, it's all in the verbiage in the contracts, man. I have no idea. I wish I was a fly on the wall on those stuff, man.
These contracts were drawn up. The Xbox One X may not have even been a thing that Bungie was thinking about.
Yeah, they might not even known at that point and stuff like that. So who knows? I mean, maybe they did. I don't know. I mean, they came out like a year ago and was like, hey, the Xbox One X a thing. We've talked to all these developers and yada, yada, yada. So maybe they did. Maybe they didn't. I don't know.
Well, and I think we've already talked about it in the past when it comes to Bungie and Destiny, like with the marketing deals, holding back all of the DLC for as long of a period as they are right now is a little bit obscene. Like in the past, like I know the whole argument goes that Xbox and Microsoft started up these marketing deals in the first place with Time DLC, but even when Microsoft was doing it, it was only by about a month. It was never by a year or 2 years like what we've seen with Destiny. So I don't know. It seems like it's just getting worse instead of better.
Darth says, who's standing in the line at the midnight? You or GKB? It's always me.
Hey guys.
I'm always the one.
I gotta watch the kids and everything because we passed.
Yeah,
out.
he like sits in the car with the kids. Cause hell, someone comes near that car. Trust me, he ain't gonna let nobody in. So I stand in line. So.
Hey guys.
That's a good point. Did anybody know with the retailers if Microsoft is doing a midnight launch with this console?
They okay, so what's going on with the
GameStop.
console as far as I know is if you ordered or pre-ordered from GameStop, it's a 6 I believe it's like a 6 o'clock and then they're doing like a 9 o'clock release.
Oh, okay.
As far as what I know is what Chris told me, so
Right.
Hey guys.
We haven't heard anything yet on the regular edition, like when those pre-orders go live, eh?
no.
Hey guys. I have to step out, man. I really just want to say thank you for the opportunity. I had a blast, so I really appreciate you guys inviting me, but I have to go do some cleanup on my front yard, take advantage of the weather.
Of course.
Got a couple of branches I gotta clean up and shit, so
It's very good that you were safe during the storm, so
yes, still alive. But again, thank you guys for having me. I really had a great time. So I'll keep bugging you guys on Twitter. So
Absolutely, bro.
Hey, thanks for joining us, Jarhead.
Anytime. Well,
Yeah, take care, brother.
Thanks, man. Have a good one, guys.
You too.
awesome. All right, so we're gonna jump into the next topic, which again we're going into everybody's fun thing. Yay! Battlefront on the Pro was only running 1080p 60. This is the pre-alpha build, and if this remains true, what does that mean for the X? Again, the X, the amazing X. So what do you guys think about that? I guess overall,
it's interesting. Like for me, like I'm not a resolution dude. I don't really care. I like graphic fidelity, and if I can get that at 1080p, 1440p, 1800, whatever, I don't really care. But 60 FPS is very important to me. Now, if the studio comes down to, hey, we want to hit 60 FPS on everything, no matter what, and we're gonna lock it at this resolution, I'm cool with it. It looks fantastic on the Pro, so that's gonna be even better on the Xbox One X. It is interesting. Like I mean, it's the Frostbite engine and all that kind of stuff. Sometimes it scales well, sometimes it doesn't, and all that kind of stuff. So we still have to wait to see what it's going to look like. And again, this is another marketing deal with Sony, I believe. So we probably won't know anything until the game comes out. So,
well, in the first Battlefront ran at I think it was like 720p on the Xbox One, and that game looked amazing.
Yeah, it did.
So it was 900. But either way, yeah. It looked good.
Regardless of the resolution, like it's a great engine. It can really pull off great visuals. And if they're hitting 1080p and 60 FPS right now in an early alpha build, then it can improve. If they want to keep it at 1080 and they want to give us enhanced visuals, like when it comes to lighting and effects and things like that, I'm all for that. Yeah, if it's better textures, you know, even a game at 1080p doesn't look bad. I mean,
no, not at all.
You know, right now we're playing games at 1080p or below 1080p, and I feel like they look great. So if they're hitting that 60 FPS and it's 1080p with all kinds of enhancements to the visuals on top of that without a resolution bump, I'm all right with that.
I am too. Like, if you look at Battlefront 2, like, it's a big open world kind of shooter game. So again, like if the hardware can't handle it, they're gonna knock it down to sustain those 60 FPS and stuff like that. And it's also gonna have a campaign, so I can't wait for that. I'm not really worried about it, either or, like whatever it is on any of the machines. I think it's just gonna be a fun game, and I can't wait to play it. The space battles look freaking epic as shit.
Yeah, space battles.
Oh my god, I cannot wait. So yeah, I'm super stoked for this one. Darth Maul, baby.
Well, even 1080 60 on the Pro is fantastic. I mean, who cares? Like we've always said, 60 frames a second, and the graphics look pretty damn good on that game regardless. So like any improvements the X gets are just a bonus at this point, and I'm sure it will get some type of a boost, you know what I mean? So at the end of the day, I'm not too worried about it. It's going to be an awesome game, and I think we will get the definitive version over on the Xbox, even if they can't really publicly come out and, you know, spit the specs out, so to speak, because of marketing agreements and what have you. But I guarantee you, we'll be playing the best version on the X.
Yeah, you know what? The more I think about it, I hope, you know, the guys behind Battlefront like stick to their guns, and like I hope they just like, yeah, we're gonna do 1080p 60 on everything. I think if they do that, it kind of makes a stance in the whole resolution bullshit and nonsense that, you know, console warriors and every fucking else that, you know, want to argue about this nonsense that doesn't really matter. I hope they come out and say, hey, it's 1080p 60 on everything. I don't care what it is, because that would be really awesome, because it's all about the gameplay and the frames per second to me. So I don't know. We'll see.
Yeah, I wish that would work and shut people up, but it won't.
No.
But yeah, I know what you mean. People are still gonna be wondering why. Why is it, you know? But either way, I'm okay. I mean, the fact that that's on beta, right, or something like that, that's
it's like
pretty good.
Build.
Yeah, free off. It's pretty good.
Yeah.
I'm looking forward to the game itself, so I don't care about that.
And I think if you boil it down to the resolution, there's always going to be somebody out there who's going to be able to play the game that you want at a better resolution than what you can play it. Whether it's you're playing on the Xbox One X and somebody else is playing on PC and they can max it out at higher specs. That person on PC that just maxed out the Xbox One X, guess what? There's somebody else with a more expensive PC that's going to even max that out. There's always going to be somebody that can one-up you. Yeah. So instead of being concerned about the numbers, just look at the game, play the game for what it is, and judge it for what it is. Don't worry about whether somebody else has more resolution or more frames per second, or more effects or more textures. It just all boils down to, what do you get out of the game, and do you enjoy it? I think that's really the most important thing that's gotten lost this generation.
Absolutely. 100% agree, bro.
Hell yeah.
Yeah.
All right, so moving on. Now, Mike had posted this. I thought it was kind of interesting just because, well, it's Nintendo, and it seems to be interesting how all of a sudden they just like to cancel literally everything they do. Just saying. So the service from Wii U, the whole, you know that Miniverse that
the
they
Miiverse,
had. Yeah, well, you know,
Miiverse.
Yes. It was created just last year?
2012, I believe it was.
It was a little while ago.
Oh, well then I guess like Twitter just kind of made it big last year. You saw a lot of people actually like throwing out their names and stuff like that. Well, it's coming to an end.
Yeah.
So,
and also,
I was gonna say,
Wii U
Mike,
chat.
All right,
Wii U
well, Mike,
chat,
you go into it and explain what you had found.
All right. So there was this article that popped up probably maybe a half hour before the show went live. Nintendo, they're discontinuing support for the Miiverse. It's going to end on November 8th. On that same date, they're discontinuing support for Wii U chat. Now, I don't have a Wii U, but I'm assuming Wii U chat is basically like their in-game chat platform. So if you're playing a multiplayer game, which I don't know a lot of people on Wii U that are playing multiplayer, but if you do on Wii U, you're not going to have any sort of chat functionality. And,
just like text chat.
Yeah, and also there was a service called Nintendo TV E with two little E's after it. All of this support is ending on November 8th. Now, the article goes on to say that gradually all the Wii U has just gradually been coming to an end. But just today, Nintendo announced that all these services on the Wii U on November 8th, they're just going to be done.
Yeah.
So they're basically killing off the Wii U. Like we know they stopped production on the hardware a while ago, but now they're even going to stop supporting the software that's available on it for all the people that bought it. And the system's only been out for what, like 3.5, 4 years?
Yeah, I think it comes down to like Nintendo just wants to put that past them, the whole Wii U thing, and just move on to the Switch now.
The numbers got to be there.
Yeah, the numbers. Yeah, like exactly. Like I think it was
the Vita,
like 10, 15 million was sold. Yeah, exactly. So yeah, it doesn't surprise me. I think that sucks for people that are still on the Wii U and all that kind of stuff. But
actually, it also affects people on the 3DS. Some of these services are available on the 3DS. The Wii,
crossplay stuff.
What was it? The Miiverse. Sorry, that in particular is on the 3DS, and that will also stop working, and it will affect certain games that had those as pop-ups while you're playing.
Yeah.
So
well, and also it looks like some of the comments on this article are pointing out that they were using the Miiverse. Was an app that allowed them to save screenshots. So if you're playing Zelda Breath of the Wild on the Wii U and you haven't upgraded to a Switch yet, after November 8th, you're not going to be able to take screenshots of that game anymore.
That's disappointing.
Yeah, it's really crazy. It's really crazy. But I mean, I think it's all just going into, we want to put the Wii U past us, like, you know, that never existed, and move on with the Switch. And, you know, they're doing those phone apps and all that kind of stuff, which I think is garbage. But yeah, it just seems like we want to move on.
Yeah, I'm not surprised when those things were not even available when the Switch came out. So
hold on, guys, let me
it's kind of like inevitable.
Yeah, let me get my 40 cords and plug in my chat and stuff so I can talk to you.
Speaking of ending production on things, how about the slight announcement? And we kind of saw this coming, that the Microsoft is killing off the Xbox One X OG, or Xbox, you know, the fatty. So rest in peace to the fatty Xbox. I still got mine, and it will always be in my home because, like I said, it's near and dear to my heart. It was the launch console, and it still runs great today, so I'm going to be keeping mine. Plus, I like the fact that my Kinect hooks up to it with one straight cord and no other junk connected to it, so that's always nice. So, yeah, I just wanted to put that out there.
I agree with you, Newf, on that one, man. Like, I talk shit about like Nintendo with their cords, but like, come on, Microsoft, you couldn't put a port on the fucking S and the X just to plug it in. I don't understand it. But yeah, man, like I was just thinking there, I was like, man, do I even have like the fat ones? And yeah, we got the Forza and the other one. So yeah, we still got ours.
Halo.
That's crazy. Yeah, Halo.
Yeah, the Halo one.
That's
Same.
True. Speaking of games and stuff like that, I don't know if you guys remember. Well, I'm sure you guys remember. Can tell who doesn't remember this. A few months ago, Phil Spencer had actually come out and said that Microsoft was going to focus more on multiplayer games and game services as they move forward, which meant, like, obviously no single player adventure games like, you know, you guys were talking about, like Zelda or even Horizon, but now they've kind of changed their whole approach, and they're saying that they're focusing more on single-player games and want to bring out more games like, for instance, Ori and the Whispering Wisps, and more first-person games than overall multiplayer games.
I think that's what they need, honestly. Go ahead, Mike.
Now, I may be remembering things wrong here, but I thought what Phil Spencer said wasn't necessarily single-player versus multiplayer, but more games as a service, that they're looking for games that they could continue to basically just draw people in without changing the base game, but just continuing to add on to it. Am I wrong about that? Or
he said that too. It was like all around like E3, because he was getting like hammered, like where's the first party, and all this kind of stuff. And he was also talking about, like, you know, he wants some single player narrative kind of games too, and you know, and stuff like that. But he was also talking about that too, Mike. You're right.
Right. No, I do remember him saying like multiplayer games, you know, that those are kind of where they're seeing the biggest movement when it comes to the games industry. But I didn't take his comment saying that they're going to be focusing on only multiplayer games. I took it as more of a...
Hold on. Just let me throw this out. He said, right now we are very focused on games that bring people together, who form communities and find ways to express themselves.
Right.
So
depending on how you read into that, like, yeah, you could take that as he's only going to focus on multiplayer games because that's where they're seeing the biggest movement of as far as player bases going to multiplayer games. But I saw it more as you know, I think I've talked about Minecraft too much on this episode already, but just taking it back to Minecraft, like, that is the perfect example as a game as a service. And also, you know, PubG, that's a multiplayer only game, so that doesn't support my argument in any way whatsoever. But, you know, Minecraft, depending on who you talk to, that is a multiplayer game or that's a single player game.
Yeah.
Depending on how the person plays it. But no matter how you play that game, that is a perfect example of a game as a service where it just continues to update, it continues to sell. It's a game that just won't go away. And with the Xbox One X enhancements that are coming out to Minecraft, I showed a video of the E3 footage to my son, and like if my 7-year-old could flip his shit, that's what he did. He saw that and he literally just like started bouncing off the walls, like, oh my god, that's what it's gonna look like. And I had to tell him, like, yeah, that's what it's gonna look like on Daddy's Xbox down in the game room, not where you're gonna be playing it unless I'm not home. So you know, a lot of people get really excited for stuff like that, and I can't personally think of any other game that lends itself to that type of games as a service as like what you see in Minecraft. But I'm sure they're looking at that and they're trying to find other games that can approach that where it's both a single player and the multiplayer experience at the same time, and they can continue to update it and keep the player base strong.
Yeah, I agree. I agree with you too, Mike. Like, I think every publisher is looking for that one game that's a service that's going to continue to make them money and all that kind of stuff. I would like to see Phil go more towards the story-driven narratives, and you could still do multiplayer on that, like co-op campaigns and everything like that. I would definitely love, because I think one of the draws for me for picking up a PlayStation game is their single player story narrative stuff. That it's not that they're not on the Xbox ones, they just seem, some of them that I enjoy or gravitate towards are on the PlayStation, and I would like to see some of those experiences and Phil putting money into those as well. I'm totally cool with all the services and you know, multiplayer kind of games like PUBG and stuff like that, but I do want to see like some more diversity in within that kind of stuff, so we'll see.
I agree. All right, guys.
I had one last thing that I just wanted to touch base with. When it comes to games as a service, did everybody here on the panel play Quantum Break?
Yes.
Yep. Day one.
Okay. Now,
Okay.
when I played Quantum Break, like I saw that game as a game that could continue on without necessarily being a sequel, but maybe being patched in with one episode at a time. Maybe that's the type of direction that they're looking towards, where, you know, you subscribe to Xbox Live or you subscribe to Xbox Game Pass, and you get a portion of a game, and then 3 months later you get another section and another section after that. Quantum Break with the TV episodes that they had along with every chapter of the game, I mean, that could be a game where they just come out with a new chapter of the gameplay and a new chapter of the TV series. I know there are a lot of people out there that hate the TV show that came with it. Whatever you think about it, I liked it, so I don't care what you think. It's my own opinion. And I would be all about getting another, 40-minute episode of the TV show and another chapter of gameplay doled out every couple of months, instead of getting a full here's 5 chapters, here's a sequel, here's Quantum Break 2. Don't give me Quantum Break 2. Just let Quantum Break keep going like a TV show.
Yeah, I mean, just like Hitman and what they were doing over there with the seasons. Telltale does it too. Quantum Break, Quantum Break would definitely fit into that. Like every couple of months, they come out with a DLC, maybe have like 2 episodes or something like that. Absolutely.
Yeah, and make that part of your subscription program.
Agreed.
Yeah, that's a good idea.
That is true. All right, so I was trying to hit exactly 8:30, but Mike kind of ruined that on me. We are now going to jump into most of your favorite part of this show, and that is...
Hey!
When you're short on funds, but you want to have fun, trying to find the price of things you just right. Hey man, that's a steal. Listen up, it's Foxy Deals.
All right, take it away, Fox.
Hey everyone, how's it going? Hopefully you're ready to hear some great deals, so get your wallets ready. Let's start with Xbox Deals with Gold, and some of the games that stood out to me this week was Rainbow Six, which recently had a free weekend, so if you enjoyed playing that, you can get it on sale. So they have 3 SKUs, one is 25, 44, and 55. So check those out. They do have different things. Obviously, you have the standard game, and then you have the ones with everything, the complete edition with all the characters and whatnot. Another game that stood out was Mafia 3. Awesome game. I do believe this one also getting enhanced later on. It has 2 SKUs, 26 and 39. We also have a lot of deals for Assassin's Creed. So Assassin's Creed is on sale on Xbox and on the 360. So if you want any of those, check them out. But this is the one that stood out to me. This is Assassin's Creed triple pack, and it comes with Black Flag, Unity, and what's the other one? I didn't even freaking write it down.
It don't even matter. Black Flag's on there. It's the best one in it.
The one that starts with the S, the last one.
Syndicate.
There you go, that one. Thanks. There's a backup, guys. So all that together is 29 and change. So check those out if you're interested. All right, over on the PlayStation side with PlayStation Plus discounts, they do have some games on sales. These are the ones that stood out to me. Dirt 4, which I recently heard a lot of my friends talking about it. I'm interested in that. It is 42. They also have Mafia 3 for 28 and 42. They have Far Cry. They have all the Far Cry games on sale. So most of those are 75% off, and they have Ukulele for 28. So if you're interested in any of those games, you need PlayStation Plus over on the PlayStation side. Some online deals that I found for you guys are Resident Evil 7 for the Xbox One. That is 25 at Newegg. We have Gears of War 4 over on Amazon, the collector's edition. So it has JD on the motorcycle for 82. We have Rise of the Tomb Raider, digital and physical, on Amazon for $20. At Best Buy, we have a Western Digital hard drive. It's 2 terabytes, and it is $65. And if you guys need some membership for your Xbox One and your 360, so you can play some awesome multiplayer games, over at CD Keys, 12 months for Xbox Live Gold is $47. Newf, did you have anything you want to add to that?
Well, yeah, I sent you a message. I don't know if you saw it or not, but it's not a real big deal, I suppose. But I know that
EB pretty cool to me.
EB Games here in Canada right now, if you buy any 500 gigabyte Xbox One console, so that could be anything with the one with the Battlefield inside, or Halo, or the Gears of War. As long as it's the 500 gigabyte, you get a free copy of Grand Theft Auto 5. You get a free copy of Red Dead Redemption Game of the Year Edition. You get a Minecraft backpack, and you get a set of thumb grips as well, the biogenic thumb grips for your controller, again, so at no extra cost. So hey, a few extra games right out of the box, and 2 fantastic games at that to go with your new Xbox purchase, all for $350 Canadian. Can't go wrong with that.
Yeah, that's awesome. I like that deal. I will share that on Twitter. That's from EB Games, right?
Correct.
Yes, and if you guys have anything that you want to add, I'll be over on Twitter, like I said, sharing all the Foxy deals. And if anything, you guys can DM me and all that good stuff, and I will share it on here next week, if anything. Back to you, SheWulf.
Awesome. All right, so I thought I would throw this out because I thought it was just kind of, I don't know if you'd say interesting, but... So, for anyone who wanted to possibly try the PlayStation VR, Sony actually announced that they're going to be releasing next month the PlayStation VR for $399. They're taking $100 off.
That's what the move controller is.
No, it's just got the camera. The camera in the head.
It comes with the camera, yeah.
Yeah, before you either bought it in the bundle that came with the Move controllers and the game, or you just got the base headset and then you had to buy everything separately. So at least now you get the 2 main components without the game for a little bit less.
Yeah, it says a new bundle featuring the PlayStation VR headset and the PlayStation camera will release next month for $399.
But don't some of those like VR games need the Move controls to actually work?
Maybe some, but most of them I think you can use the controller because it still has the light sensor built in.
Interesting.
So unless it requires that, it's not essential to the purchase.
I still think that like $399 is too much for me, but
yeah, considering you can get well, like was a $399 US, and what are we looking at? An extra $100? Go get yourself an Xbox One X, you cheap bastards.
Yeah, see, I'm like, that's what's confusing me because I'm with Drop D in the chat too. He's like, I thought the PSVR was already $399. So that's what I was like initially when I heard that. I was like, that seems like it's the same price. Didn't really
Well, from articles that I'd seen around, it was originally $4.99, and now they're dropping it to $3.99.
See, I thought the $4.99 bundle included everything.
No.
I guess I'm wrong.
I do not recall. Also, this is PSVR, so I'm not even listening.
Yeah, it's whatever.
Although on the VR front, there was that
Not on you, SheWulf,
announcement
not
of
on you.
the Microsoft and Steam partnering for their mixed reality. That's interesting.
That is interesting. I'm like, whoa.
So, okay, I saw a title, and I thought it was just kind of weird, and I was just curious what you guys thought. It says indie dev provides torrent. Ask that you pirate game before buying from key resellers.
Yeah, because there's a lot of like crap going on with the key resellers, right? They don't want to like they're almost basically like ripping off these people, like getting these keys and all this kind of stuff. So the devs like, I ain't giving you shit. I'm gonna put it on a torrent and people could just download it for free because that's basically what's happening anyway. So yeah, there's a lot of shit going on with the CD keys and all that kind of stuff. So
Yeah, it was from Acid Wizard Studios. Made comment mistakes during development of its first game. So I thought it was interesting because usually you hear people say no, don't pirate, it's wrong. But then he comes out and he's like, yeah, so the studio responded by releasing the official torrent of the game on Pirate Bay and said, hey, get it there.
So it's
please.
like basically giving the middle finger back. Okay, got it.
I guess it's more of a commentary towards all these different digital distributors that are selling keys for games that are cutting the developer out.
Exactly.
The developer is basically saying like, hey, we would rather you get the game for free and steal it than pay somebody $15 for a $30 game that we're not going to see any cut of.
Right, because the CD keys guys, they're getting 100% profit, and the developers aren't getting anything. So he's like, well, if we're gonna do that, I'll just put it on a torrent. And see you later.
Yeah.
I know. I just thought it was interesting.
It's pretty interesting. What did you guys think about the whole Rise of the Tomb Raider craziness going on right now? I'm interested to hear your thoughts because I'll get into my rant in a minute.
Considering that is my favorite game this generation, you know, I got pretty excited when I heard the news because I wasn't expecting an Xbox One X upgrade per se. I mean, you knew it was a possibility, but I wasn't sure. I think it's being way overblown, and I believe that from both sides of the fence. I think Xbox fans are playing it up way too much. Yeah. I also think PlayStation and PC fans are getting overworked over nothing as well. I mean, it is a definitive edition, but it's not like it's like I'm looking at the videos and I can see difference, but it's not like just blowing my mind here. Like, oh my God, like the sun just dropped out of the sky different. It's like, yeah, it's difference. And I like the fact that they got the different modes so you can play the game how you want, that sort of thing. But
that's the coolest thing out of it. Yeah.
That's really cool. The developer is giving you the option to play it how you want, whether you have the ultra textures or you have the high frame rate or you go for the 4K, whatever it might be. So that is pretty awesome. Again, I think both sides of the media are playing it way out of proportion, but it's nice to see Digital Foundry do these things now and back up the confirmation that the Xbox executives have said all along, that we're giving you a powerhouse machine and it's pumping out performance that is, you know, as good or better in some cases than ultra PC performance. So that's really cool.
Yeah.
That's the one part I wanted to touch on too, is like the whole Digital Foundry comparison thing. Like, to me, like, I kind of say it's a wash at this point, right? Because Nixus went back and they're adding more textures, new assets, and all this kind of stuff into it. And then you're comparing an old version of game to a new updated version that the Xbox One X is. So the comparisons really don't make sense to me. And I get, you know, Digital Foundry is doing all that stuff. And again, I'm super happy for the Xbox, you know, and the team and, you know, everybody that's going to get it. It's going to look great. You guys are going to be like super happy about it. But at the same time, I agree with Newf. Like, you're blowing this way out of proportion. Like, if you take like two Mustangs, right? One has a stock motor and one has a crate motor. Yeah, on the outside, they're still Mustangs, but on the inside, they're completely different. So the whole graphical comparison thing and you know, chalking up as like, yo, we're winning and this, that, and the other, like, calm that shit down, guys. Like, when you're really going to see the differences in games is when they're released day and date on all the consoles or all the platforms, and then you really get to see where the power is. Like, because the developer went back and added a whole bunch of stuff in, yeah, that's awesome for that, you know, camp and all that kind of stuff. But at the end of the day, those comparisons really don't mean shit.
Yeah, if I went through some extra dirt on my wife's face, I'd say, "Dear, get in and wash your face."
Well, and here's the thing about here's the thing about the whole like image that's been floating around social media with the Laura Croft and her face and all the detail that's on there. There's the Xbox One X image that has a lot more dirt and blood and stuff on it. And there's the PS4 Pro and the PC image, which look very similar. The PS4 Pro maybe looks a little bit softer. That's all up to your own interpretation. But as far as what I'm expecting from the Tomb Raider enhancements, I think it's great that Tomb Raider is getting enhancements. Thanks for adding another game that I have to revisit to my list. I really appreciate it.
I don't have to
realistically, yeah, I've heard from it now. And granted, this is coming from the PC camp where they're trying to defend their version of the game, but the face and the textures that are on the face when it comes to the amount of blood and the amount of dirt that you see on it, it's all dependent on how much damage your character has taken at that point in time in the game. So if you enter a cinematic scene where you have 25% health, you're going to have more blood and dirt on your face. Exactly. I don't know how true that is. But
no, that's pretty true.
Yeah, I can't dismiss that. Like there may be a screenshot taken of the Xbox One X version at the exact same point in time as the PC and the PS4 Pro version, where the Xbox One X version you're seeing a little bit more a detail added into the face there with the textures. But how much of that is game driven and how much of that is actually engine driven?
Right. I think your point is like absolutely valid, because like when you do get into fights and all that kind of stuff and you get into cutscenes, I think it does like take that damage and stuff into account. So yeah, that could be a factor. It could not be. I think even though like when they scroll down to like the coat and stuff, even with those like fine details with like the leather and all that kind of stuff
and the threads,
Nixus like went in and did a whole bunch of touch-ups, and granted they should have. I mean, Microsoft put money into, and this was the only reason that Rise of the Tomb Raider got made in the first place, so absolutely go back and take care of Microsoft's stuff that they put money into for you guys to make that game. I'm just saying on the comparison thing alone, like, calm down, guys.
You know what's funny about the comparison thing is, like, yes, we know that the Xbox One is going to look amazing, but if you guys want to get technical, we could just take a PC of, like, someone who has, like, I don't know, a really expensive rig that they built with, like, the top-notch graphic card right now. Post the same picture and just be like, guess what? I just sat on your face, Xbox. How you like comparing it? We really need to.
I know, right?
Face.
It is.
I was like, damn.
Let's be honest. Like, I just wish that the Xbox, like, the fanboys. I just wish you guys would just stop and just like be proud of what your system is, but not put down the other systems at the same time. Yeah. I'm just kind of tired of that.
Well. And that's like what I was saying earlier, if you've got the Xbox One X version, which is the best console version, you post a screenshot of that. Someone with a $2,000 PC is going to post a screenshot of what they have. And then someone with a $5,000 PC is going to post a screenshot of what they have. It's all going to be different depending on what your hardware is. So be happy with what you have. The best news that I think is coming out of this whole Tomb Raider story is not the comparisons between one version to another, but more the idea that developers are getting behind the Xbox One X, that they're implementing these improvements, and that it seems like it's pretty easy for them to implement. This is a game that came out. How long ago did this game come out? Was it a game last fall, or was it 2 years ago? I can't even remember now.
I think it was 2 years ago. Yeah.
2 years ago, it was 2015.
Yeah, because it came out for a year on us, and then it came out for a year on PlayStation.
Right, so this is a game that's almost 2 years old, and developers are going back and patching it. So that's the best news to me, is that developers are going back to these games and patching them, and hopefully From Software, please hear me. Patch Dark Souls 3. Give me content. That's all I want.
Here's the other thing.
Have you checked the list? Like, have you seen what is on the list?
I have, and at this point in time, Dark Souls 3 isn't on there. It does have a PS4 Pro update that unlocks the frame rate, but it's not a locked 60 FPS. So whether that means From Software is going to do anything for the Xbox One X, it's hard to say.
To go to Mike's point too, like, and for the Sony camp too, like, relax, guys. Like, now that the Xbox One X is coming out and you're seeing the support in the enhanced games and all that kind of stuff, that's just good things for you guys as well, because that means both camps have like a 4K-ish, true 4K, whatever the hell you want to say, version of these consoles, right? So Now you're gonna get the benefits of that as well. Like you guys didn't have like crazy support when the Pro comes out because you were the only version. Like why would they go back and like do all this crazy stuff for just like one console? It doesn't make sense. It doesn't make like a business sense at that point.
Yeah,
but now that
they had
you
a
have
handful.
right, and now that you have the Xbox One X come out and you're seeing all the support and going back for it, it's only going to benefit you as well, regardless of power and all that kind of stuff. You're definitely going to get benefits going forward. So don't worry about it, guys. It's going to be awesome.
I know one game I'm excited to see. Ashen is actually going to be 4K with HDR.
That's like what it's like Minecraft being 4K.
That is not a Minecraft.
Cool, whatever.
Shut up. Ashen looks like it's gonna be pretty awesome.
I'm just saying, like, if you look at it, it's like Limbo looking, like, I mean,
yeah, it's very
Ashen looks
artsy.
fantastic. But,
all right, what about Black Desert getting 4K?
we got to see that. That's going to be a difficult game.
Or you have, I still don't get why Arrow is getting a 4K 60. Like,
it's gonna blow your mind.
It's going to be
You're gonna see
awesome.
the notes. You're gonna see the notes coming at you.
yeah,
I'm going to look
you
at
are,
that
like,
4K ship and do all that cool, like, dancing-y, music-y stuff. So it's
Oh,
gonna be
you're
awesome.
gonna the
Music.
Darksiders is Darksiders 3 is getting it.
Oh, yeah, I can't wait for that. Darksiders going to be awesome.
Oh yeah,
Just
the
shade off
Fury.
topic, but I want to applaud Aaron Greenberg, man, because I love that guy. I love the fact he still has a bit of a sense of humor and he can play with things. Because somebody posted, I think it was Tim Dog, and we're chatting, man, and Tim said something about all the salty fanboys kind of thing, and then Aaron replies to him with the salt shaker tipped over, and he got some shit from that. I was laughing so hard. I was like, I love that stuff, man. Like you can't take
Of
it too
course he was gonna
seriously.
get
It's all
shit for
joking. But still, it is nice to see that some of these guys take this with a grain of salt, pardon the pun, can have a little bit of fun with it, because like I said, everything's been just freaking blown out of proportion with everything.
Yeah.
Yeah,
That's-
kind of like
that's
GKB
who-
drinking all that haterade.
Oh, always.
That's who Aaron Greenberg is, though. If you ever met him and talked with him, that's who he is. Just like Phil, all of them, Mike, everybody on the Xbox team. You talk to them, the first thing out of their mouth is games.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
It's just games. It's not marketing or this, that. That's everybody else bringing that crap to them. When I was at E3 the last 2 years, ran into Phil a couple of times, Aaron Greenberg, even Major Nelson. All of them, first thing, oh my God, did you go and try out this game? Did you play that? Did you play this? Oh, I'm going to go jump in and play some Forza 7. I mean, that's who they are. They're gamers at heart.
Mike Ybarra, he like streams on Mixer more than anybody I know.
Oh, like every
Right?
day he's playing.
And he doesn't even play on Xbox. He plays on PC.
I seen him streaming some Diablo 3. I mean, PubG.
I'm
He's
surprised he doesn't
everywhere.
get shit for that. You know that? Like, it's kind of funny, but I'm surprised he doesn't get shit for playing on PC.
Well, even somebody was giving Mike some kind of grief about, I don't know if it was the Recore Definitive Edition or something like that, and he's just like, "What? You don't like free upgrades or whatever?" Like he had this like logical comeback for the guy, and I was like, "Yes." Like how can you go wrong with free anything, you ass plot? You know what I mean?
Oh, okay. No chills came out.
My only caveat to that would be like, Mike, I should have had this when I bought the game originally. Just saying. But I agree with DJ Arcade in the thing. More 60 FPS on the Xbox One. I agree, bro. Need more 60 FPS games. Absolutely.
Well, there's a lot of them that are apparently getting the updates. So
Overall, I mean, it's cool. I've seen the comparisons, and I'm looking forward to seeing it when I do get it. But right now, it's like, the game is already good. I'm already happy with the game as it is. Just fucking play it. You don't have to wait. But if you do, that's nice. I like the game overall. It was, like, my game of the year and everything. So, yeah.
Screw that, Fox. Like, if you haven't played Rise of the Tomb Raider by now, what the fuck are you doing with your life? Like,
I haven't. Well, no, I played it, but I haven't beat it. But
Oh, I beat it. Now I have to go and beat it again because thanks for the upgrades. I appreciate that.
See,
Thank you.
I knew in the back of my mind that we were going to be getting these, and I'm like, no,
Oh, she knew.
don't
You didn't tell
beat
me.
them yet. You can just start, but don't actually beat them, because I still have to beat Doom too. I actually didn't complete that game.
Now, Doom is a game that I look forward to replaying again. Like, I can't wait to go through it. I think I've beaten the campaign twice already with the regular Xbox One hardware. When it gets the upgrade to Xbox One X, oh my God, that might be one of the first games I boot up.
There was just too many games to go back and complete. Like, oh my God, there was like one game after another. And a lot of these games, when they came out, we were getting so many review copies for different games that, oh my God, I couldn't keep up. Like, I just
More games, more problems.
I know, right?
First world
More games,
problems,
more
people.
problems.
That's so sad. You were getting all these free copies of games.
know, right?
Oh.
Such a complaint.
Shut up!
Has anyone even thought that maybe all these enhancements to all these games were at like what, over 30 plus now for the
Yeah, I think
X.
so.
Yeah, man, it's
is
awesome.
them testing the waters for how
Yeah.
much they can push the X.
Oh, for sure.
Because there's really nothing built from the ground up yet for the X.
That's
so it's
true.
kind of them testing their engine, their capabilities, their dev teams to seeing, okay, hey, we're going to take this game and we're going to, 4K textures. We're going to try to get this to run 60 frames, or like with Tomb Raider, you can play it in 3 different ways where it runs at high frame rate or high textures or a middle of the road kind of thing.
To me, it comes down to like, it depends on the game, like really, like, because like I see Path of Exile being like, yo, 4K 60 FPS, blah, 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 blah. And I'm like, yeah, but you're like Diablo. You're only like rendering a down, like, version of the thing. You're not like
down.
This whole like 3D open world kind of thing, right? Like The Witcher 3, like that's really going to push the hardware. So I think it all depends on the game, on how far, but like, and that 130, plus games on the list is fantastic, but I got to be honest, they're not all winners. There's a lot of indies and stuff on there, but
here.
And also the big plus out of developers going back and patching games that have already released is they get some experience with the hardware, like what you were saying, Phantom. They get to kind of test the waters with it, so then they know with their next game that hasn't released yet, here are the things that I already know how to do, and here are the things I want to improve on, and they can keep using that hardware to its fullest.
Right. They've made it super simple for them to develop for. So I think we're just going to see better and better things going forward. But I totally agree with you, Phantom and Mike. It's probably just testing the waters, getting used to the hardware and all that kind of stuff for their next big game.
Yeah. Minecraft in 4K. Box is so sharp, cut your fingers off.
I haven't seen any questions in the chat. I don't know if you guys saw any. If not, then I guess
earlier, I think it was Gunny. Gunny was asking, "What is the first game that all of us plan to play on our Xbox One X?"
Doom.
Shadow of War.
Gears of War. Are you surprised? Are you surprised? No. Okay.
It's going to be Forza 7 for me.
I've got to take a look and see about this this new ability that we have to prepare ourselves for the Xbox One X, where we can download these 4K or Xbox One X enhancements ahead of time before the system releases. So if I can get Skyrim installed before the Xbox One X comes out and have that on my external hard drive, that'll be the first game I play. As much as I love Doom, Skyrim, as I mentioned earlier, I have a Skyrim tattoo, so I've got to go back and revisit that game. I can't wait to see what that game's going to look like on the One X.
Nice. Chances are I'll end up playing like Destiny or something because I'll be streaming. So
I don't know. It's gonna be bittersweet to me because I think I'm just gonna play all the games when they come out. I'm not really gonna wait for the X. But a lot of them are play anywhere. So if I want to see what it looks like in 4K, I'll just play it on PC for a little bit and then go back to the Xbox.
He'll play like 6 games in 1 hour. He's like, I'm testing everything.
Well, that was like one of the reasons, like when the Xbox One X was announced and like when it was coming out, I was like kind of distraught. Like, fuck, why I gotta wait till November? Like, come on in August. So because I'm not gonna wait to play Destiny when the Xbox One comes out. Like, I'm not gonna
like Shadow
Battle
War.
War. I'm not gonna wait. Like Forza, I'm not gonna wait because I love Forza Motorsports. So I don't know. It's gonna be bittersweet for me.
Yeah, I'm not gonna pick up Forza 7 until actually November the 7th. I think I'm gonna buy it the day of when I pick up my console because I want to see it in all its glory instead of like cutting into it a few weeks early and just cut. You know what I mean? Like I got enough stuff to play over the month of September and October. Not to mention that Super Mario Odyssey comes out at the end of October too. So so many games. Actually, time for me right now is not. That's not my problem. I got tons of time. More so than finances, so it's been pretty tough being unemployed over the last little while, but hopefully that changes soon. But yeah, that's my mantra.
It does make me wonder though, like how many sales are they going to lose because people are waiting for the Xbox One X to release before say getting getting Forza and Shadow of War. Like, how many sales are you guys gonna lose on launch day because you guys didn't release this right around the X? Or why didn't you release the X like the end of October?
I wouldn't per se like losing, like you're just gonna be waiting for them until like November.
Yeah, but
I don't know. I'm not gonna wait for the X to buy games. Like Xbox One owners that have an Xbox One right now, you're not going to wait until November to play, like Shadow War. Some people might, but we've had the summer drought, so games are just now starting to release. So we're in that mode of I want to buy games now. It's been a couple months since I bought a new game. I'm looking for new games. I want to revisit. Like I can't even pick just one. Like I said, Skyrim would be the game I want to go back to, but there's so many. Like Forza Horizon 3, I really want to see what that's going to look like on the One X. Resident Evil 7, I haven't played that in a couple months, and I've really wanted to go replay that. I'm kind of waiting until the One X comes out to go through it again.
Yeah.
There's so many games with this huge catalog of games that we have that are getting updates. Even if you're an Xbox One owner right now, you probably have a game that's getting a One X enhancement.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah. Can I just say one thing to all of the game fans out there, period, and especially if you happen to be an Xbox fan or maybe looking to pick one up, guys, if you don't have the money to get an X or you're just not 100% convinced at this time, don't worry about it. Like, some people are getting a little distraught because they didn't get in on the pre-order, or maybe they're just not sold on it quite yet. Like, the Xbox One S is a magnificent console in its own right, and you're going to be able to play all the same games no matter what across the board. So, like, don't hold back. If you just don't have the money now, the Xbox One X will still be there next year. There'll be plenty available, I'm sure, by the time we get into spring and summer, and they're probably going to come packed with a crap load of bundles and stuff. I'm not saying don't buy one either. If you got the money and you're like gung-ho, by all means, go get one. But I'm just saying, you've got a fantastic console with the S as well, and don't hold back if you've been waiting to get one and just maybe not ready to upgrade yet. That's all I wanted to say.
All right.
Couldn't say it better myself.
All right, before anybody else jumps in there, I'm going to quickly throw this question out from Megabad C. It says, you guys excited for the new DVR update? No word yet on what there will be. Wait, what?
Well, I think it's...
there is, but I hear it's all good.
For the One X, it's going to be able to record in 4K, and it's going to be able to record HDR, and I think 60 FPS.
Yep.
Right.
So, am I excited for that update? Sure, absolutely, but it's not a game changer for me. But one thing that update does do is it lends value to the Xbox One X, especially if you're someone who's thinking about. Right, if you're a content creator, or if you're right now, if you're thinking about buying an Xbox One X or building a gaming PC, that DVR update is a huge offset to cost.
Well, to be fair, like, you can get free ones like with your graphic card, because you can get Relive and NVIDIA Shadowplay, which does 4K 60 FPS too on your PC. So there are those options as well. But yeah, if you're totally into console, I think that DVR update is fantastic, because you won't have to spend all that money, like $400 or $500 for a capture card to go into your PC. If you're a console gamer, if you're a PC gamer, you can definitely use Relive and Shadowplay and all that kind of stuff to do the same thing.
Very cool.
And it's free.
Very cool. Alrighty, guys. So we have hit that 9 o'clock mark. So we are going to do our outros, and we are going to get out of here. So starting down the line, let's jump on our guest of tonight, and that is Phantom.
What's happening? Sorry, I had you guys all muted, or I had myself muted. I don't know.
Somebody was muted.
My brain's on mute.
Oh my god.
What?
Where can they find you? What are you doing?
What am I doing? Obviously, I don't know what I'm doing. But you can find me on Twitter. All that cool stuff I've noticed is down below. You can catch me on our Mixer.com channel, Xbox Social,
Nice.
rebranding and stuff like that. So that's what I've been really working on side of gaming and everything. But that's where everybody can find me. Just go to the Mixer channel and we'll kick it, hanging out, and have some funs.
And he was doing some charity stream just a few days ago too. It's pretty awesome.
Yeah, 24-hour for Extra Life. Yeah,
it's awesome.
Yeah, that's
Good
awesome.
stuff.
What about you, Newf?
Well, same old. I'm going to try to make some more videos. I just put up an interesting one the other day. Hopefully you guys can check it out on my channel. It's called Too Many Games. Is it a problem? I know it sounds like a weird question to ask, but I think if you listen to my video, you might actually see where I'm going with that whole thing. So check it out if you don't mind. I'd appreciate it. And I'll be getting back to some more streaming on Mixer. Got a few games that I want to play. I might pop into some Recore or some Titanfall 2, maybe some Mass Effect and Andromeda, stuff like that. And I do, again, want to thank Phantom for coming on with us tonight. Phantom, again, congratulations on your new addition to the family, brother, and great job on your cast the other day, raising money for a great cause with Extra Life and stuff. So again, it's a pleasure to have you here, man. I was surprised to see you tonight. I didn't know you were coming on, actually. So fantastic stuff. Take care, man.
All right. Thank you.
Yeah, I didn't tell anybody who was coming on tonight. Mike, what about you?
Hey, everybody. Well, you've got all my social media accounts scrolling below the screen there. They'll also be in the description of the video. Beyond that, I'll be here next Tuesday. And just like what Newf was saying, huge shout out to Phantom for joining us. Also, huge shout out to Jarhead. And also, I just want to say to everybody in southeastern Texas who's been hit by this hurricane, I wish you all the best of luck. You may not be listening to us right now, but I hope you all are well, and I hope that everybody can take care of everything that's going on with this huge storm that came through.
Yes,
Definitely
yes,
agree.
agreed.
What about you, Fox? What do you got going on?
Thank you to everybody in the chat for joining us. Thank you to everyone who listens to this later on. Hopefully you guys checked out Gaming Den last Friday. Me and SheWulf rocked that as always. And then join us again next Friday at 12 for another episode of that. Actually, Thursday, my bad. I just remembered I have a thing on Friday. So Thursday, join us on Thursday. Yeah, on Twitter, we'll like remind you and all that good stuff. And YouTube, I have a video talking about Life is Strange. And if you're interested in the new Life is Strange, check that out. And I'll share Foxy Deals on Twitter. So yeah, thank you to everyone for joining us.
Awesome.
I'm surprised GKB was in here too. What's up, bro? What's up?
What's going on?
And what about you, GKB? Now I get to say it before you say my name.
What's up, everybody? Yeah, sorry, I was mad late at work and stuff and all that kind of stuff. So hopefully next week I'm back and we're doing it normal again, but who knows? I do want to say a big shout out to Phantom and Jarhead for joining us tonight. Super awesome. Hearts and prayers and everybody go out to everybody in Texas and all that stuff. We know the feels. We live in Florida. We know how it is. So take care of everybody out there. And everybody, you can find me on GKB, on Gamers Knows Best, and Twitter. Come give me a shout out and all that kind of cool stuff and talking all kinds of coolie things. So yeah.
Very
Pickle
cool.
Rick.
Pickle Rick. So of course I was your host of tonight's episode. I am SheWulf, where you can find me on Mixer at xSHEWULFx. I have been doing a crazy lot of stuff on there, and I hope you guys come and join and hang out and, you know, show Mixer that we all love the community and all that amazing fun stuff.
SheWulf's gonna be like, as soon as she gets partners, she ain't gonna talk to nobody anymore. She can be like,
That's not true. I'm gonna talk to everybody. Don't be mean. Don't be mean.
As long as she talks to me, I don't care.
Nice.
Yes, of course, guys. Make sure on Friday you guys tune into the Gaming Den, where me and Fox will be hosting an
Thursday.
awesome. Oh yeah, this week it's Thursday because she has other. Thursday
Yes, I have a
this
thing.
week we will have the Gaming Den at 12 o'clock. So join us on your lunch. Tune in, have some fun, and you know we always make it entertaining. And as always, you can find me on xSHEWULFx on Twitter and all that fun stuff. Also, I have my own Discord if you guys want to join. It is called the Gaming Den. So yes, other than that,
Yeah, check out that Gaming Den. It's an absolute howl.
yeah, there we go.
Huh. I'm in there too. I mean, I'm just saying.
Yeah. So is I think. No, I don't think Newf joined.
Nope.
Phantom joined.
I'm in one.
Phantom joined. He's okay.
which
I was
one?
just
anyways.
looking at the Discord. She's gonna put you
down.
guys out
Well,
there.
yeah, I have the Discord open. But yeah, other than that, guys, thank you everybody for tuning in tonight,
Yeah.
and I hope you guys have an amazing week. We are out.
Bye.
Great show, everybody.
Later.
Thanks much.
Peace.
We'll catch you soon.
Don't mean to talk.
Tonight we're running on the right track.